Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name's Dan Davis, and bringing you the action here tonight is my good friend Alexa Marshall. Alexi, how are we doing this fine evening? It's in beautiful weather here in Hungary, the home of Benny Varga as well, and he's made sure the lovely weather is here for us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport.
Definitely. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little upset. To the silver.
Sorry, apologies. I just ended up having a little bit of a mistake there. I had the stream on in the background, so we ended up hearing a double echo there. So, sorry, Lexi, you're going to have to re-say all that once again. My apologies.
Oh, great, right. Let's redo this again, shall we?
It's not a SimPlay stream without a little cock up, is it? Let's be honest.
Hell, no, never is. But it's Hungary, it's Monaco without the walls, and it now becomes a lot more interesting. There's no rain on the forecast, which honestly I was kind of hoping for, but it's not come, and it's nice and sunny. Some drivers love it, some drivers hate it. Hungary, never usually that easy to overtake on, still will not be. However, we know what these Ginettas are like going around this circuit. Skunky up top at the moment, O'Reilly P2, Ramsell P number 3. We've got plenty of drivers out there on the grid tonight. John Godet still yet to get a lap time in, as well as Carlos and Raiden. But one of the things to point out here, Flop last week was bronze down in Barcelona. He's been promoted to silver, and he's also joined the team, Dan.
Yes, I thought you'd bring that up relatively quickly. Joining the very, well, what's the word, controversial team that is Lexi Industries Racing.
Hey. Mean much?
I mean, it's definitely a good team to sign with, a good team to get you kind of dip your toes into it, you know. Obviously still building up the reputation as Lexi Industries, obviously looking to hopefully one day be on the par of, you know, MSA, SimPlay Racing, and, you know, the rest of those guys, and Greasy Bandits as well. So we'll see if Lexi Industries, with the help of Flop now, will help bring them up the grid a bit more. One other thing we got to mention as well here tonight, Lexi, is we've got two drivers joining us this evening. We got P. Raiden, our very own PN, is racing here tonight, doing it for the Soldor Racing boys, doing it with his teammate. He's running the 66 in his Ginetta, and we got a new driver of, well, and I'm probably going to get this totally wrong. Hoffa? Yeah. How would you pronounce that, Lexi? Hovath. We'll go with Hovath. But yeah.
In a very crisp... I'm getting don't.
I was going to say, don't use the C word, because if you use the C word, I've already ended up having a conversation with somebody about the C word. I'm currently on board of him at the minute, and this man's a little bit obsessed with that time of the year. Yeah.
Dan, don't worry. We're closer to Christmas than we are the New Year.
Oh, God. You said the word. No, the more fact is we're closer to 2050 now than we are to the year 2000. How mad is that?
It probably makes people feel old. I was born after 2000, so I don't mind.
I am old. I was born in 1995. That blows my mind. Anyway, the Hungaroring. A circuit that, like I said, home of Benny Varga, and a circuit that you don't often get to see in sim racing. It's a circuit that definitely is, like you said, it's like the Monaco of out the walls. Very tricky to overtake. I think for the Ginettas, it should be relatively good. Obviously, similar pace, not too many long straights that will, you know, hit the limiter or anything like that. But definitely a circuit that could produce some great racing. I think for the GT3 cars, though, it's going to be about strategy. But the championship looks like this going into this round. It is O'Reilly leading the way ahead of Tordok in second, who is not here this evening, nor is Sylph. So a couple of the MSA boys not able to race this evening. So this should really be an interesting night's worth of racing. So anyway, O'Reilly leading the way from Tordok, from Duffin, from McGowan, from then Sylph. Then it's Snye in 6th with Wright in 7th. 8th is Skunky, and those are your top 8. They're going to be carrying the ballast. Row 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and 5. Then it's Leach in P9, who's also not here this evening, with Friedman in P10. Yo in P11 seem to be onto a winning streak at the minute. It took a win last time out in Barcelona. Langley in 12th is Carlos, 13th is Langley, 14th is Ramsel. Hoffner sat in that 15th place position ahead of Goulet in 16th. Then we got Bolton in 17th with Varga. Home race for him in 18th place position. Cranes in 19th with Klarbel in 20th. Millington in 21st with Aberdeen in 22nd. Bell in 23rd with Nebo in 24th. Tipping in 25th with Smith in 26th. Taylor in 27th with Archer 28th. Johnson 29th. Marston 30th. Cherrymore in 31st. Flop in 32nd. Find a driver that's on track. And then we got in 33rd Star Dog, with 34th going away as Storack. Fernie in 35th. Old Sim Racer 36th. Cummings in 37th. Williams in 38th. And then 39th is Betterson. Obviously, Raiden will start to score tonight, as will Hovda in 41st. And that is your championship standings as it is. The teams: Dapper Racing leading the way quite comfortably out in front, ahead of Greasy Bandits in second. Third is SimPlay Racing MSA in P4, with Team RRM in P5, Quantum in P6, with Bull Busters Racing P7, Team GBR in P8, with CT Motorsport in P9, Full Send Jod Lords in 10th, with G&D Racing in 11th. 12th is Team Piston Pounders with Team Audio Sport in 13th, Road Runners Motorsport in 14th, OWR Racing in 15th, with Soldor in 16th, 2Cs Racing in 17th, Blunt Force Racing 18th, CGT Motorsport in 19th, Team Tom in 20th, Team FBR 21st, Lexi's Industries in 22nd, and OGR still yet to get off the mark. Whew. Those are your championship standings, and I also believe tonight, where is he? He is currently in the pits. I believe race 1 is Rob Ransel's 100th appearance here at SimPlay Motorsport. I'll see if I can find the roundup, but I'm pretty sure it's his 100th appearance here at SimPlay Motorsport. Matt doesn't do the milestones anymore, so yeah. So that's a quick run of the championship, and Lexi, most importantly, it's wide open now. I think with some of the MSA boys having a week off, it could be, well, I say some of them. We still got the mighty Kieran O'Reilly here tonight as well, who seems to be on a winning streak, not just in these, but also in the GT3s as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one, let's be honest. That's as simple as it is. It's a lot more interesting this week, especially with this circuit, because, hot take, I know you got annoyed with me last week, Dan, for saying Barcelona's goated, but I think Hungaroring's even better than Barcelona. Definitely top 5 for me.
I mean, I would have to agree with you that Hungaroring is better than Barcelona, because let's be honest, Barcelona's terrible. It's not the best circuit, but anyway, we're here. We're racing at the Hungaroring, and like I said, the MSA boys are going to have a lot of work to do to catch up. Obviously, drop scores will help them out. And I think Matt was wrong. Wait, where is Ramsel? Where is he?
Ramsel is P5.
Oh, sorry. So Matt Wright's first. So first race here tonight for Matt Wright. That will be his 100th appearance. Okay, now I've got it the right way. Duh. So, we got Millington, Ramsel. Yeah, sorry, Millington and Ramsel. Both of the first races for them will be their 100th appearance here this evening at SimPlay Motorsport. There we go. I got there eventually.
That is a big old number. Into the triple digits.
I mean, they got nothing on DJ Phil, let's be honest. DJ,
you know what? Just for reference, how many race stars has he had?
DJ Phil,
Yeah.
463 here at SimPlay Motorsport.
Oh my god, that's dedication.
He's a definite supporter to the league, and you want to be a dedicated supporter to the league, you know where to go. You head over to our Discord page and our Sim Grid if you want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. Evening, chaps. Going to be an interesting round this week. Love Hungaroring me, and are going to get the popcorn at the ready. Well, hopefully we shouldn't have any server issues. We shouldn't have any problems. I'm in an iron if to leave the server or not.
Don't jinx it.
I tell you what.
Just whatever you do, do not jinx it.
I'll stay in the server. I think that's what's best. I'm actually having a quick look at our stats. Obviously, most race starts going the way of DJ Phil at the top with 463. Gary's at 442. Raimi Fernie's in that P3 place at the minute with 367 as well. And then you got Peaceful and then myself, all in the 300 plus range. And then you got race wins, and we're still waiting for some of the newer boys to start clamping up that order. You got O'Reilly now stepping into the 20s with race wins. Who else? We got O'Reilly with pole positions. He's now got he has got 19 to his name. So if he takes one more pole position tonight, he will get to his 20th pole position, which will be matching Max Mulder. So pole position is hard to come by around on this server, and obviously podiums as well. O'Reilly currently, last time out, he managed to get past the 50th podium for him as well. So O'Reilly really starting to work his way up the order a little bit.
I mean, it just goes into the racecraft at the end of the day, so if you could get a podium, which I know I'm never going to get anytime soon. Oh my god, have you seen my pace, Dan? Yes, you are. Watch it. But,
hey,
like, it takes... We've got so many drivers nowadays. First driver out on the circuit will actually be the SimPlay boys. That's going to be Matthew Duffin and Rob Ramsell, who are first out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because it comes down to the racecraft, and with so many drivers on the grid, it's so hard to get a pole or podium nowadays.
Yeah, and obviously the way SimPlay has grown, I know for a fact that I've gone away and tried a few other leagues in most recent times, and I still don't think that anything can compare on console at the minute. Like, I think SimPlay is the hardest league at this minute on the console championships. That's just my personal opinion. Jason Duncan in the chat saying fast crowd and good luck as well to the drivers. Got Gary Clarball in the chat. We got obviously P. Raiden, who's I think he's planning not to qualify. He's going to stay in the pits and start from the back every time. But that said, it's probably one of the hardest console leagues that is out there. So we'll have to see how guys slowly progress, and with it just constantly building and building and building, it's always going to be difficult to get those pole positions and race wins. But obviously racing 3 races here tonight, it definitely gives them more of a chance.
3 races it comes down to it. Of course, all with qualifying sessions. This is the longest qualifying session, 10 minutes. Will be followed then by the first race, which is 20 minutes, and then it's the 7-minute qualifying for race number 2, which is 20, and then another 7-minute qualifying for race number 3, which is 20. If you're new here or you don't know that format, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the British Touring Car Championship with GT4 Car Genettas. It's the Whodarron Cup, and it is brought to you by Design Manchester and Audio Sport. Find out more about them in the description down below. And Dan, we've got Rob Ramsell, and he is about to start his lap here.
And we are on board with the man himself, heading down towards turn number 1. A very interesting corner indeed. Took out a lot of cars in F1, but Ramsell hits the brakes, tries to get the front end turned in. Sometimes it's a second gear corner, sometimes it's a first, depending on the car. Make sure you get a good exit out of the corner, and then heading down to turn 2, really nothing here, but into turn 3, braking just before the curb. Try and get that front end turned in. Very easy for the car to become light, and the rear end starts to go loose due to the downhill nature of the circuit, into a quick right-hander of 3, heading up now towards the blind turn 4, where Felipe Massa had his massive accident, was out for a while. Turn 4, turn in, hope the car commits, keep it pinned on the exit, and then try and get a good run through 5. Try not to touch the inside curve. Touch the inside curve, the car becomes unstable. Running out through there and then heading towards the tricky chicane. Brake again just before the curb and turn in into 6 and then into 7. Now into the really tricky middle section. Now into 8, long, a kind of slow left-hander, even into a slower right-hander of 9. Make sure you get a good exit out of 9 and then swoop into 10. Keeping that pace going through and then through the tricky turn 11, fast right-hander, very, very easy to run track limits. If you go over the curb or over the white line, you will get a warning for that one. Brake for the curb before 12. Get the car dropped down a few gears, get the front turned in. You can abuse the curb a little bit on the inside and then you head up towards turn 13. Uphill, really slow corner, and as you can see there, Ramsell just losing a little bit of front end grip, goes wide and struggles to get back on the power. Now finally into 13, try and again, just be patient, wait for the corner to come, turn the car front in and then try and get the best slingshot out the final corner to then complete a lap time here at the Hungaroring, and Ramsell sets a lap time of a 54.6. Duffin, meanwhile, did not set a lap time. We've got Snai coming to the line, and that is going to be a 53.9. Here comes O'Reilly, and boom, sets the pace straight away, Lexi.
Yeah, most definitely. Here comes Varga with the green, blue, and orange livery. Just P number 4 at the moment. It's not black like I said last week. That's there going for full send fjord for Cairns. P number 6. Skunky goes up into P number 4. Matthew Duffin did invalidate, no lap time set for him. Yo also invalidated. Matt Wright now on to a lap time here. Horvath now going to be beginning his run. Snipe P2 at the moment, O'Reilly P1, Ramsell P3, Bell P number 10 at the moment. Two of the bronze drivers, that's Terry Moore and Archer, just ahead of him. Flop goes up into P number 5. And then we got plenty of the rest of this grid coming through. McGowan is currently leading the big group, so he's got plenty of clean air in front of him.
He has indeed. Meanwhile, new boy Hovdath has crossed the line and gone 12th with that one, so a little bit off the pace. He was at the back of that train. Quite a lot of cars in the pits as well, but a few of them possibly carrying a qualifying ban. But like you said, McGowan currently out on the front end of this group. Obviously, he didn't get out on circuit first. He ended up there, obviously leaving the pit lane a little bit later. But he's into the final sector now. And how easy do you think it is, Lexi, to make a mistake right around here? You set the lap up, you've been brilliant all the way through the first couple of sectors, and then into the final sector. It's so easy to get it wrong through there, isn't it?
Track is easy to make a mistake at, because no matter where you are, you've got to be precision perfect. You push your car over the limit by 1 millimeter, you are going around and you will be spinning. As there goes the lap time, but it's not valid for the leader of that pack, which is McGowan, so nothing there for the time being. Matthew Duffin did get up into P number 4 there. That puts Flop and Skunky down into P number 5 and P number 6, which now goes to Varg, putting Flop in P number 7. Yo is still not with a lap time on the board. Matt right now around the final corner for Quantum Motorsport, going to the line here at the Hungaroring, but it looks like no lap time for him either. Friedman is now at the back of the circuit. He's making his way through. And to be honest, Dan, if we're looking at anywhere, for the left-hander of 4, and then the chicane of 6 and 7 is probably the hardest part on this circuit to get right.
Yeah, probably so. For me, it's definitely that faster right-hander where you can easily take too much track limits and really push the abuse through there. If you get that wrong and consistently get it wrong, you kind of end up staying in a cycle where your mind ends up saying, I just can't keep this car in track limits. It's very easy. Once you do it once, you start doing it all the time. But O'Reilly, meanwhile, has got a threat of Snai at the minute, both separated by 4/10. Then there's quite a big gap back to Flop in P3, doing it for Lexi's Industries Racing at the minute, ahead of John Goudet. So a lot of these guys either possibly being too cautious because of the track limits, or they're just making too many silly errors. It is quite hot here on the circuit, and the track is now on fast. So it is going to be a tricky one, as McGowan will be then the next car to come across the line, as Will Freeman starts his lap.
Yeah, so the lap times will start here. Everybody's trying to get their lap times in. Only 14 lap times on the board at the current moment. Make that 15. As that is going to stay where they are. McGowan is now P number 3, so nothing too bad for him. Yo around the final corner. Going to be going it to the line here. What will he be able to do? He goes up the board. P number 3 for him. It's a very good lead for O'Reilly right now, though. He's up in P number 1 with a 153.190. Sny P2, Yo P3. But the gap is 0.4, then 0.7. So there's quite a big gap there. Matt Wright finally goes to the line and gets the lap time in. 1.760 off the top, but it's P number 9 for him at the current moment. So that's good for him. Friedman still yet to get a lap time in. Only driver out there who is yet to set one.
He's not long come out of the pits anyway, so he is out there trying to set a lap time. Meanwhile, Millington crosses the line, no improvement. So drivers are out there, they're trying to find pace, they're trying to find something. Meanwhile, Skunky looked very good in the practice session. What has he found here? Only 8, but he has got another lap under his belt, and Friedman will have another one as well. He's in the middle final sector, and he's got a lovely bit of gap. No cars around him, no distraction. I think sometimes, even though you're rushed to get out and get on circuit and try and get as many lap times on the board, sometimes just a little bit of clean air to yourself is all you need. Just a little bit of time to, you know, and there goes Friedman, crosses the line, and what is that? He puts himself in P3. Just a little bit of time to just find the space.
So we'll wait and see, as there's less than a minute now here in the qualifying session. Who is yet to get a lap time in? Let's have a look. It's Carlos Tipping, Raiden Clarmel, Aberdeen Taylor, Sturrock, Bettiston, Marsden and Johnson. Some may have qualifying bans, but I would not be surprised if some have just not opted to start out in qualifying. As we all know it, Dan. We know we made memes of it. We look back to it. 2021, Let's Go Bowling. Turn number 1 with Valtteri Bottas. I think that may be a reason why there's a lot of people not setting qualifying times here.
Possibly so, or again, some of them might be on qualifying bans. I don't have the up-to-date list, but they would have been informed if they have or hadn't. Meanwhile, Matt Wright, first one to finish a lap here. Where's it going to put him? Only 9th in the end, so Matt Wright just a little bit off the pace. Obviously, the first time he's now starting to carry a little bit of ballast. Who's into the final sector? We've got a few cars coming in. It's none of the top guys. Who have we got? It's not Cranes either. It is Millington coming out of the final corner now. What can he produce? He's currently 14th at the minute. A slight improvement, but does not change position whatsoever. Cherrymore is in the wall. And I think everyone else, that is Skunky in the end, improving, but only goes P5 with that one. And we got Will Friedman now at the minute, currently just under half a second off the pace. Has he found that time? That is the question. Into the final corner we go. The 208 doing it for Team RRM. What is he going to produce here? He goes pole. Steals that pole position away from O'Reilly. And O'Reilly has boxed. Sny's boxed as well. It is just Ramsell and I believe Duffin who is still on a lap. Whether it's an improvement or not, I do not know. But at the minute, Will Friedman back on pole position. Ramsell's pitting.
Yeah, Ramsell into the pit lane. What about Matthew Duffin? He will stay out. So we are going to get the checkered as you head around the final corner. As you go to the line, Matthew Duffin, I don't think he's improving because he's just doing squiggles. That's how it sits. It's Will Friedman up top, O'Reilly P2.
What a lap there from Will Friedman right at the very end. And like I said, in that clean air, no distractions, no one in his way, and there is the lap time. A brilliant lap time. And it's been a while since we've seen Will Friedman at the top. Obviously, we tend to see him in a Porsche, whether it's a GT3 or a GT4. And obviously this season, he's decided to change both. Well, I say decided. He has decided to race the Whodarron Cup, which is primarily Ginettas. But also in the Pro, he's also left the Porsche and gone to the Ferrari. How much of a difference do you think that would do for a driver like Friedman? Obviously, it's taken him a while to get onto terms with the pace with the rest of the guys in the Ginettas. But surely a man of his level, obviously I know a lot of the drivers have been saying how tricky the camera is. Obviously, because the Ginetta has a right-hand drive car, while everything else is pretty much left-hand drive.
Well, I think this is the thing. Whilst yes, it's a left-hand drive car. Well, right-hand drive car. You can change the camera in game, so I would not be surprised if that's what a lot of drivers have done. So even though it's a right-hand side, you're driving on the right, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of drivers have the camera on the left. Kind of like we've got, Dan. If you're just hop in a car, if you go into the cockpit cam, the camera is on the opposite side to the driver. So I think that's just one thing that they will do to counteract that. But Porsche to Ferrari, that's a big change with those. Like, the Ferrari, very stable at points, good at turning. Porsche,
10 seconds.
It's a Porsche. So I can imagine not hearing the whir when you get up 6th gear is probably a tricky one. But these are Ginettas, and Flop is in the pit lane. So they are opting for a pit lane start, possibly to avoid all the lap 1 chaos. And all the drivers now get away from the line. It goes like this. Will Friedman will line up on pole position. He went in qualifying and he set an absolutely lovely lap time of a 1 minute 53.075. It's then going to be O'Reilly who sits P number 2, 153.190. It will then go Snite in P number 3 with Yo P number 4. Skunky will sit P number 5 with Rob Ransell P number 6. McGowan P number 7 with Matthew Duffin P number 8. Flop was supposed to start P number 9, but he starts from the pit lane, so it's now Matt Ryan P number 9 with John Gooday P10. Vargas sits P11 with Cairns P12. Ellington P number 13 with Terry Moore P number 14. Archer 15th. Hover 16th. Bell 17th. Carlos 18th. Tipping P19. And Raiden will round out the top 20. It then goes Clarbel, Aberdeen, Taylor, Sturrock, Marsden, Johnson, and that is it, of course. Flop starting from the pit lane. So it now becomes an interesting factor around this circuit. They go around the formation lap, and this becomes the interesting part, because we've got quite a few interesting fights happening around the field. We've got Cherry Moore and Archer in the bronze, who are quite high up, mixed in there with a few silvers and quite far ahead of their fellow bronzes. Also got Rob Ramsell in the silver, who is just ahead of, who is in the middle of some of the golds. So we got the interesting matches up there. Of course, Friedman and O'Reilly on the race start is going to be an extremely interesting one. Millington fighting his way through the field. That's going to be a big question of what will happen there. Marsden and Sturrock, as well as Bedison, also alongside. So that's going to be the fights that we're going to be watching here, Dan.
It is indeed, but like I say, anything can happen going into turn number 1. There could be any opportunity, someone just missing the brakes, a brave driver trying to send it up the inside, someone trying to go around the outside. There is definitely opportunities down into turn number 1, and absolutely anything can happen, and anyone can lead after lap 1. Race 1 predictions, Lexi. Who are you going for? Who you want to curse?
Oh, who do I want to curse? Okay.
Wow. Who are you going for?
Who do I want to curse? Who am I predicting? AKA cursing. You know what? I'm going to go with O'Reilly.
I'm going to go Friedman. Normally when you get Friedman on the front row, it's very difficult to stop him from winning. But either way, it is Will Friedman versus O'Reilly. It is Team RM versus Dapper Racing for the front row. Who's going to take the first win of the night? We shall see here at the Hungaroring. We now wait for the go from the officials. We are green and go here at the Hungaroring as we head down towards turn number 1 as a relatively even start. It looks like Friedman starting to pull ever so slightly away from O'Reilly as the rest of the pack slip into the slipstreams, and down into 1 we go, and there Snide up the inside is going to make it a Team RM 1-2, and O'Reilly goes wide. Everyone else meanwhile relatively clean as there's a little bit of contact there by Carlos, and I believe he's just pushed Archer wide ever so slightly. Yes, he has. but everyone else relatively clean and safe as we head towards turn number 2, and already O'Reilly's trying to attack back on Snai, which has allowed Friedman to just disappear up the road with Yo right on the back of Snai there as well as they all check up. Here comes Skunky now. McGowan looking to go around the outside of Yo, but they made contact.
One there as you got all the drivers coming through. O'Reilly was sideways heading through turn number 2, and we also had a car go off in the back. I'm trying to catch who it was. Yes, the front end is battered and bruised. That was John Cadet who went into the barrier coming out of turn number 2 into turn number 3. So that's what's happened there. Skunky now on the defensive as he has got Matthew Duffin right behind him. He's in a SimPlay sandwich because he's got Rob Ramsell just in front of him. Also got to have Quantum close a bit just behind, but everybody's trying to fight their way through here, Dan. And this is why it's the racing action, but it's a bit of following at the moment. Flop slowly trundling his way to get onto the back of the pack. We'll see what he can do later on into this race. Of course, no pit stops all the way to the end. It's going to be pedal to the metal. The foot goes to the floor with a 35-degree track, 29 ambient optimum track surface, and no rain on the forecast. We come to the end of lap 1 here, Dan. It's Friedman who leads, followed by O'Reilly, then Snai.
It is indeed, and Snai just dropping off the back of O'Reilly. O'Reilly now up to pace and just not able to go with Friedman at this stage, while everyone else in a kind of train situation. We've got a SimPlay Racing and Greasy Bandits kind of sandwich here, and there we see Carlos making a move on the inside of Millington. Beautiful move, job done, and another position gain for the MSA driver, and moving up the order he goes. Cherrymore meanwhile under pressure from Bell. He's looking right, he's looking left. Is he going to try and find a way through? He can't do so into turn number 2. Possible opportunity if Cherrymore makes a mistake, but none is available to him. Meanwhile, further back, everyone else in order as Betterson trying to hold off Taylor by the looks of things, who's just on the back bumper of him. But relatively clean, other than the slight contact to John Goudet's car, all clean so far.
Yeah, nice and tidy as you head through the rest of this circuit. It's what you'll love to see, and maybe another reason why SimPlay is one of the best leagues out there. Join the Discord if you haven't already. And then, of course, coming down through these corners, like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications to get notified every single time we go live. But Flop still slowly trundling on his way back. Did something happen to Raiden? Because they've dropped off the back a little bit, so something may have happened there. We didn't get any visual on it, so a little bit of a following game at the moment. Of course, as per the Hungaroring, Yo did look from the inside on Snai going down into the right-hander, but no move done for the time being. And right now, down the inside, Cherrymore looking for Steve Millington, but may actually cost him. He went very deep there. So now it's John Cadet who's already got the move. Round goes Bell. He went into John Cadet, tried to get a move done, did not work out. And that is Bell off on the inside. Luckily enough, no one else getting caught up in that. In fact, Bell got the worst of it. That looked more like iRacing physics than ACC physics, because he's the one who went into John Goodey and he got the worst of it.
Yeah, he did indeed. Meanwhile, Snai under a lot of pressure from Yo, and bringing with him is Ramsell. Ramsell obviously has been struggling in the pro category, but in the Genettas he seems to be in a little bit more of a comfort zone with these cars. Obviously everyone running the same car, similar enough the same pace, other than a few setup changes here and there. But Ramsell really having a good little run here at the start of this one, and he's now onto at the back of Darren Yo, who's just looking also to try and make a move on Snai, as Yo has a little bit of a slide through that awkward turn 4. But a great little fight between these three at the minute. I think Snai at this stage just seems to be struggling a little bit. Further back, we've got Matt Wright looking up the inside of Keynes, who's made a mistake. Nope, he's gone wide, but he's still on the outside, as Wright has to try and out-drag him, but he won't do so into the chicane.
Well, it comes down to it as you come through these sections of the circuit. It's very tight, it's very windy, it's hard to pass, but everybody's still trying their best to fight against each other over the curbs and over the crests. Is all of these drivers as they come through the back part of the circuit. Flop and Raiden is very slow, it seems, because Flop's passed him. So unfortunate evening for Raiden so far, but who knows? You have another 2 races, Raiden, and you can show everybody what it's worth. As you have Yo right now, still on the back of Sny. Also going to have Rob Ramsell, who looks to the inside. Door opens, decides to take it, and he now tries, but unable to get just behind. And Dan, we've got Sny leading this little train, but he's got Yo, Ramsell, and Skunky, possibly Matthew Duffin and McGowan looking at him from the stern.
Well, Yo looking up the inside of turn number 1, and Sny able to get to the inside relatively early enough so they didn't have to compromise there. And Skunky has now joined the back of the party as well, so it's going to get really feisty. As Duffin holding up McGowan at the minute. Everyone else in their own little train as Carlos goes a little bit wide himself. But all good so far. But more importantly, the one thing we have to also look at is O'Reilly now has set the fastest lap of the race, and where he had a 2.1 gap to Friedman, that's come down to 1.8. So Friedman now possibly starting to be hunted down by O'Reilly as he now starts to allow his legs to stretch and start to chase down the leader.
Most definitely. I mean, you've got to stretch your legs, you've got to get the heat in the tyres, and you've got to do everything that you can to get past the driver ahead. Of course, defence and offence can be 2 interesting factors. Many people will say the best defence is a good offence, and that is going to be for John Goodey. He's still trying to close in on Cherrymore, who's just in front of him. Clarball on Steve Millington. Matt Wright, the other Quantum driver, sat at P number 11, trying to hold on to them at the moment. The 501 and the 302 blocked in a fight, that being Ramsell and Skunky as they head around this absolutely infamous circuit. Now down the inside, Joe looks for it again, but the door keeps getting shut. Ramsell's still on the back of him. In the background, you can see Duffin and McGowan still locked in their little fight, but you've got Soda and Full Send Fjords who are still sending it against each other. So I guess the name really works. But Friedman now with a gap of 1.4 seconds. It's then 3 seconds to Sny and Yo with Ramsell and Skunky behind.
The thing is as well, the thing is, Sny and Yo are in the kind of same camp. They're in the Greasy Bandits group, and they're all kind of, oh, there we go. Yo goes down the inside. Has he missed his brakes? Yes, he has, which is going to turn into a mistake for him, because now Ramsell will go up the inside of turn number 1. He's going to be on the wrong side for turn 2, but if he can hold it out around the outside, he should be able to have the inside then for turn 3. He's going to give it a go. He's given Yo racing room, and he's still there. He's still got that authority to be there, and he's on the inside, and Yo turns in on him, and Ramsell's made contact, and around goes Skunky, puts him round as well. Ramsell in the middle of the circuit moves to the inside as best he possibly can, and Yo there just turning in on Ramsell, I think, there, as Ramsell was deemed the racing room, I think, on the inside. Awkward angle for us to see. We're not 100% sure what was the outcome, but Ramsell now dropping down to 14th. He's now side by side with Clarball, and he's going to have to try and feed himself back into position now.
Well, we'll wait and see as the racing action does continue here. The angle was difficult to get, but it now comes down to the replay. It does look like, from an aerial perspective at least, as game, please work for me, as it's a difficult one. It does become a difficult one at the end of the day, as the replay is being awkward with me, Dan, so give me a minute.
That's alright, we're back on board with Ramsell anyway, who's behind Clarball and Millington. A good little scrap going on here. Obviously Ramsell ended up in this group, but he had to go to the outside there as Clarball defends him off. There's a stupid sign in the way, so we can't actually see the action, but Ramsell now up the inside of Gary Clarball, and I believe that will be job done for him, and now he's behind his good mate Millington, and that fight will carry on for the moment. Sny has now been released by Yo and Ramsell, so it's now Skunky trying to hunt down Yo after that kind of messy kind of couple of corners. But what was we see there, as Skunky gets a little bit closer there, Duffin now starts to creep onto the back of him, and then we got Varga, who's got Keynes right behind him, right, and now Carlos. So there's another close fight as we're now at the halfway stage of this race, and we will end the poll there as majority reckon that Yo will win this. Only one vote. But Varga now holding them off at this moment in time.
Yeah, as the replay going down out of turn number 2, going into turn number 3. It is a tricky one. It's a very, very tricky one, but personally, it looks like racing incident to me. one car's drifting towards the left slightly, as a car genuinely does outside of turn number 2. One's getting ready to turn in for turn number 3. They're both side by side. We'll leave it to the stewards. I'm just going to say racing incident at the moment, because that incident's definitely going to take a bit of time to properly figure out at the end of the day. So even with driving on board, it's still hard to tell. We're going to go with a racing incident for now. It will come down to the stewards after the race, without a doubt.
Thanks. I'll so look forward to looking into them. If they end up coming, obviously it's down to the drivers to put in the tickets. Obviously we won't note them down. It's down to the drivers to notify any of the rules that have been broken, whether if it's contact drivers or even pit lane entries as well. If lines are cut, then obviously they can put it in. As there, Ramsell looks to the inside of Millington. Millington nearly turning in on his old pal Ramsell as they go wheel to wheel, but in the end Ramsell does not quite get the job done. He has to fall in back behind Stephen at this stage, and Clarble now back onto the rhythm. Also Taylor is onto the back of Marsden as well, so it's all getting quite close at the minute. And once again Millington has gone wide in a final corner. The front end will come back round, but Ramsell up the inside. Millington with a slight twitch, and there we go, up the inside will come Ramsell. Millington trying to squeeze him to the inside, but they're going down wheel to wheel, get the side draft down towards the hairpin they go, and they're bringing Clarble and Goudet with them. Down the inside go Ramsell and Clarble. Optimistic move down the inside, gives Millington a shove, off he goes, and Gary Clarble gets the job done, and Goudet gets the position to do so as well.
Nice little move made there. The top two absolutely flying away into the distance, so that's what's happening there. It looks like your prediction is going to be right, Dan, as we've got...
Not over yet.
Well, we don't know yet, yeah. We got 7 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock, so what will happen there is going to become a lot more interesting. Cherrymore still trying to fight his way through, as we got plenty of drivers. Cherrymore's a bit in the middle at the moment. He's just having a nice little fun time on his own, as
he is also the leading bronze driver at the minute, so Cherrymore in a very happy place. Meanwhile, Silver is going the way of the home man himself. Benny Varga looking very good in the silver class, and obviously in the gold class, Will Friedman comfortably in front at this stage of the race, but 1.4, that gap has slowly been chipped away by O'Reilly.
At the end of the day, it comes down to it. We will wait and see, as right now it is going to be these fights. We've got Clarble versus Goudet versus Millington. We've got Cherrymore, who's a little bit ahead, but he's got Archer and Tipping behind. Also, my game has had a moment.
Gotta love ACC when it has its moments like that.
Yep, got all ACC.
Well, we're currently still on board with the Goudet, Clarble and Millington fighters still hotting up relatively well here. Up a minute, Goudet can't find a way through as Gary Clarble has gone a little bit wide, but tucks in for a better exit, and get the run as Millington has his own little slide further back. Yo still onto the back of Snye. If anything, he's lost a little bit of time and dropped into the clutches of Skunky, and everyone else is relatively close to one another. It's Goudet going to look to the inside of turn number 1. He gets close to Clarble, but unable to find a way through. We've also got Taylor going down the inside of Aberdeen, and is it going to be job done for him? Oh, not quite, as Aberdeen will hold the outside, who have the better momentum, and the inside for then turn number 2 as they head down towards there into the braking zone. Aberdeen to the inside, and he holds off the attack of Taylor at this stage. He's just defending his good teammate Tipping at the minute, as the two team piston pounders holding off the G&D racing car.
Most definitely, as this is just a quick thing. This is just real quick. It's really funny with turn number 2, as down the inside is going to look the driver, but nope, no move there for Taylor. This is the funny thing at turn number 2 when you rejoin into a lobby. It looks like all the cars are drifting.
Yeah.
Just a little funny moment with AC. Honestly, ACC is one of those games that's absolutely amazing when it comes to racing action like this, as Archer's still defending from Tipping. Aberdeen is in behind, followed by Taylor and Marsden. No drifting through those sections of the circuit, so they're holding on to it. O'Reilly has brought the gap down to Friedman, though. So we've got 5 minutes left on this clock, Dan, and it looks like O'Reilly is starting to close in on Fried.
He is a little bit, and I've just realised as well some of the settings have changed on the Streamlabs, so we are slightly out of sync, which is fabulous. We'll have to change that before race 2. Yeah, heading down towards turn number 1, we are on board with Skunky and Yo. And once again, Skunky starting to put some pressure onto the back of Darren Yo at this moment in time, but can't find a way through. Skunky goes a little bit wide there, but it is all still to play for at this moment in time, as Kane's still able to hold off Wright and Carlos at this stage. 6 seconds behind them is then Ramsel. Benny Vargas actually pulled away from this group. Sorry, he was behind Cranes at the minute, and he's now ended up ahead of him. No, Vargas was always ahead, he's just dropped them, sorry.
We'll wait and see what is going to happen with these drivers. They do hold on to these positions for the time being, but that is realistically about it. I did see someone pop up for a second on the bottom, so I don't know what that was. No penalties there at the current moment, so no idea what ACC was doing with its thing. But everybody's now having these little fights, everybody's having these little moments, and it's now become a lot more interesting. Flop, who had a pit lane start, up in the P number 22. So good gaining for him. And I'm going to check this. Who has gained? I can't check it because ACC at the moment. Yay, thanks ACC. But who, I'm trying to figure out here, who has gained the most positions? It may be John Goodey.
Possibly so. I'm currently watching Archer at the minute, who's got a lovely train behind him. He's got Tipping, Aberdeen, Taylor, Marsden, and soon to be Flop, all one after the other. So there's a very close fight there. Archer just off the back of Cherrymore, who's just disappeared down the road. But here we go, Tipping looking to go to the inside of Archer, and I think he's going to get the job done. He's a bit tight, camera's rubbish because we can't see what's happening, and Archer holds on, and that means Taylor now looking to attack Aberdeen around the outside. Aberdeen having to go defensive. He looked up the inside of Tipping. That's going to unsettle the car. And that's going to allow Taylor to go right round the outside of the penultimate corner and then have the inside for the final corner. Now Marsden wants to get involved. Nearly hit in the back of Aberdeen there, but holds on to position. And all this does is allow Flop to get onto the back of him. And Taylor has a moment. After all that hard work, he has a moment. So possibly Aberdeen is going to come back and attack the back of Taylor's car. Towards the line, towards turn 1 they come, and Taylor to the inside defends off Aberdeen, and Aberdeen comes to swoop underneath, but won't get the job done, and they're still side by side.
Side by side, wheel to wheel, millimetres, inches. The battle into turn number 2 does continue. Up against each other, rubbing, fighting, good, trying to get as much space as possible. No contact made between them. Got to be careful. Marsden and Flop right behind. As Flop goes airborne there for a moment. Nice little airtime hill. But now down into turn number 4, looking for it. Sebastian Vettel-esque, Lewis Hamilton-esque. And oh, big contact. Round goes Marsden at turn number 4. Both went wide. It looked like Flop may have hit him from behind, unfortunately. But as of course, we'll leave it to the stewards, as that is an unfortunate thing that happened there. So right now, that's that for that battle between those two. But Taylor and Aberdeen still going at this through the back sectors.
They are indeed, and they're really finding out for these last few positions here as the leader starts his final lap. That gap came down to 8 tenths. It's now extended to 1.3. So O'Reilly possibly made a mistake somewhere. Snai just off the back of him, aren't able to go with them, as Yo lost a little bit of time there to him. Skunky still in that P5, Duffin P6, McGowan P7, Varga P8, P9 is Cranes, and P10 is Matt Wright, rounding off the top 10 with Carlos just behind him, and all still relatively close, as now Flop has got past Taylor, and Taylor now going with Flop hopefully to try and clear some of the cars in front. Aberdeen just ahead of him, as you see. Aberdeen goes a little bit wide there, a little mistake, and that might put him under pressure from Flop.
Wait and see, as here we go down the main straight. Flop is going to be right here with him in the slipstream, looking for it to go down the inside possibly. No move there made though, and now Taylor looks behind as well, still trying to hold on to it. You've got Tipping, and then you've also got Tipping ahead, and you've also got plenty of other drivers. So now they continue. It's Flop versus Aberdeen versus Tipping versus Archer. So Archer now under pressure from the driver. Tipping's got past Archer actually, so Aberdeen's now on the back of Tipping. So of Archer, I should say. There we go. Finally updates. Thanks ACC. And now up through turn number 4, no contacts this time round, but Flop is trying to get past, but it's now a train of 5 cars, and the fight is really headed into these final moments, Dan. But all eyes will go to the leader as Will Friedman is coming round the final corner.
He is indeed. It's been a while, but Will Friedman comes home for a solid position and takes the first win here tonight at the Hungaroring. Congratulations to Will Friedman. O'Reilly, a solid P2 and fastest lap to his name. It is going to be a Team RRM 1 and 2. Snai bringing it home in that P3 position, just ahead of Darren Yo, ahead of Skunky. Duffin with a solid 6th place position points. McGowan in the end just having to hold off. Your silver driver as Varga gets a win in his class at his home circuit. Keynes in the end P9, Matt Wright P10 and Carlos P11, P12. A bit of recovery drive there for Ramsel. Goudet is going to finish in that 13th place position with Krabel coming home in 14th. Millington 15th with Cherrymore in 16th. Then we had this titanic battle. It's going to be tipping who comes out on top of that with Archer ahead of Taylor. And we lost a few of the drivers there. Where is Flop? There he is, further back. He dropped down as tipping will go 17th. Archer, Taylor, Johnson, Storrock, Bell, Hovath in 24th. Flop in the end, 24th. 25th will be Marsden, and then Aberdeen's a possible contact with them. Betterson rounding out 27th, with then Raiden in that 28th position. Wow, what a race won there, Lexi. Not a lot of too much, well, fairly straightforward, not a lot of chaos, but some good clean racing nonetheless.
Good clean racing. Of course, lap 1 had its moment with John Goudet out turn number 2, but other than that, it was nice and clean. Bit of following in the first 10 minutes, but the final 10 minutes really decided to pick up there.
It was indeed. We're going to shoot off to a quick break a minute while the guys quickly get themselves a drink and a little time to have a little break. But Friedman in the chat already said yo, yo, yo. And what a brilliant win for himself there. Nice to see him back on top of the top step of the podium. We'll be back in a few moments' time as we will get race 2 underway very shortly. So we'll be back in a few moments' time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Hopefully I should have all the syncing all set up now correctly. We will have a little look later on, but nonetheless we are underway for our next qualifying session here, and a little bit later than I thought, because I went to go make myself a cup of tea, and yeah, just misjudged how quick that was going to be. But either way, race one was pretty spectacular, wasn't it, Lexi? Some great hard racing from all the guys, and definitely Will Friedman even saying in the chat he's surprised to see that pace come out.
Definitely, I mean, it comes down to it, but we're about to see even more pace as we head into qualifying. Of course, plenty of drivers making their way around this circuit, but Rob Ramsell, once again, the first driver out there on the circuit as he begins to run it down into turn number one. Heavy braking into the right-hander, first or second gear, depending on what car you're in, and then use the exit as much as you possibly can without invalidating. Head down into the braking zone and into the left-hander now, trying to keep it as tight as possible and holding onto the line as they now head through the long left-hander into the right-hander and then towards turn number 4. The uphill left-hander where Lewis Hamilton, of course, did an absolute decided I'm not going to go for a move here, but it is very much possible in a racing game, and now down in turn number 5 and then turn number 6 and 7, which is of course the chicane, can make or break a lap, and it does come down to that part. Who comes out on top between them? Who decides on those factors as they now head through the left-hander and then over the crest onto the plentiful parts of this circuit. Very tight right-hander, trying to hold as much speed as possible without going too wide, but it looks like Rob is going to hold on to it. Another quick right-hander coming right up, even tighter now as you head through and towards the back part of the circuit, onto the curb, use it as much as possible, and then into the braking zone for the final few corners. Double turn backs, double switch backs, whatever you want to call them. They are technically hairpins, and of course, featured in the Gran Turismo movie, trying to make it look like Le Mans when it clearly wasn't Le Mans. But one man who may be trying to go as fast as the cars at Le Mans is going to be Rob as he comes through this final corner now and holding it onto the line. 501, pedal goes to the foot and foot to the floor, and it is now going to go to the line for Rob Ramsell. 153.485.
Does indeed. Ramsell sets the pace at the minute as he crosses the line, and we'll wait for the other boys to come through. Snai crosses the line, no lap time on the board for him. O'Reilly, possibly a little bit of a messy lap, possibly trying to look for that clean air, but at the minute McGowan and Duffin and Ramsell the only ones for a lap time. There is Skunky putting a lap time on the board as well, so a decent lap time from himself there. So lap time's coming in thick and fast now. Flop now going to P5. Hopefully you make the start this time round, as we've got John Goudet going to P5. Bell already done a lap time, and there's a few others coming to the line. Millington crosses the line to go into that P9 position. Who else is coming to the line? Benny Archer goes into P10, and Northup then goes into P10. And so far those guys put a lap time on the board. Bettison now goes to P11, and then we see Taylor going to the line now with a P8, with Krabel in P7 as well. Good lap times from them indeed. Varga, home circuit, 11th in the end, and I think Cairns in the end not able to put a lap time on the board.
Yeah, no lap time yet, so you have to hold on to it. And now you just have to wait to see how many more times will come in. Skunky sits up top, Ramsell P2, McGowan P number 3. Still Snai, Yo, Cairns, Wright, Johnson and Friedman out on circuit. No lap time set for them yet. Friedman coming into the first sector, so he is holding on to that at the moment. Johnson in going down to out turn number 3. Matt Wright, turn number going through the back parts of the circuit. P number 24 at the current moment. Cairns, Yo, and Snai in the final few corners. It's going to be Snai and Yo to the line.
At the minute, Ramsell though coming to the line. I don't think this lap is valid. No, it's not. I don't think nor is Duffin's, so neither of them putting a lap time on the board. McGowan's lap time wasn't even valid, as Snai now comes and splits the cars ahead, and O'Reilly once again showing his pace, but Yo is there with him as well, and it continues on from where they left off. More importantly, where is Will Friedman? He's in the middle sector at the minute, so he's found some pace. Matt Wright still not able to put a lap time on the board. Has he finally done that now? Yes, he has, and puts himself into that 8th place position and moves to one side, and that is his session done. He ain't got no more in him as Flop crosses line. P9 at this moment in time, and the rest of the guys now coming in thick and fast. Keynes is done. I think Benny Varga is done as well, as I believe Millington crosses the line. It proves to go 11th in the end for that one. And who else we got coming to the line? I believe that is possibly Archer. Yes, it is. Goes to P20 with that one, but then gets passed once again by Hovdath. And then now Will Friedman coming to the line. Is there a lap time on the board? No, it's not. Will Friedman did not. Oh, here he comes now. Sorry, I caught the wrong white car. It is Will Friedman to the line. And it is pole position once again by 14 thousandths of a second. Is O'Reilly still on a lap? Yes, he is. He's learned his lesson. Yo is done. So now he just looked to the last couple of guys. Across the line comes Aberdeen for 16th in the end. And that's the best he can do. We now look to the front of the field. It is Yo and it is Duffin. And Ramsell is the leading SimPlay driver at the minute. And he's done. He's pulled it to one side, as has Duffin. Within sync, they both move off the circuit. Skunky is also done, and it's just McGowan and O'Reilly to set a lap time here.
Just them set the lap time, so now it comes down to it. How will they continue here at this circuit? They do now go through, trying to hold on to these as they now head to the line. It looks like no improvements to get into the top 10, but O'Reilly still on pole as he goes.
He snatched pole back.
Yeah, he snatched it back as Friedman still out there. Yo into the pits. Ramsell into the pits. So it's down to Friedman through these final sections, trying to hold on to it at this moment. Gonna head him through the right-hander and then down in towards the braking zone. Into it one more time. He's got a Sodor racing car in front of him, but he's gonna pull over.
Is that Will Friedman done? Yes, it is. Benny Varga coming into the final sector. Also, the 987, that is Hovath, but he's gone into the pits. And I believe then it's Gary Krabel. Yes, it is the 181. Exiting the final corner. What has he got left on the tables here? Currently 15th at the minute. Any improvements? He does. He goes P10 with that one. Now we've got Benny Varga, the leader of the silver class earlier on. And it's only 13th in that one. Not the best qualifying session for him at that time round. But O'Reilly taking back his pole position from the first race. Obviously, Will Friedman managing to nab it right at the very end. And this time it is 1-1 for these two. And for myself and Lexi, it's 1-0 to me. Lexi, who are you looking to possibly win this one?
O'Reilly's P1, so I'm going to stick with O'Reilly. And I'm going to let you take us through this formation lap here, Dan. I will be back for the race start because I just need to go speak to my father real quick.
Not a problem, as I just get the predictions up on the screen so you guys can vote who you think is going to win this one. Obviously, if you don't agree with any of the drivers I see in the chat, then feel free to put whoever you think is going to this one. While you're at it as well, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And also have a look at our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester, Audio Sport as well. All their information are in the description below. If you want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to our Discord and into our SimGrid. The best way to sign up is through the SimGrid. If you don't sign up through SimGrid and do it correctly, you will not be able to race correctly in the championship full stop. Once you then join the Discord, you will need to be asked to do a hot stint. Once you then done the hot stint, then we'll be able to put you in the correct category based on your overall pace, rather than it's gold, silver, or bronze. And obviously, like I said, there are so many events that we are doing this season. We've got the Whodarron Cup with purely Ginettas. We've also then got next, we've got the Pro-Am and the Pro Championship for the GT3s. And in the off-season as well, we have some great fun events that we've put on. We are hoping to possibly look to maybe do an endurance race if we have some space or time. Obviously, we know August is a very busy time for people, kids off, holidays and all that lot. So maybe we'll be postponed until maybe into the winter. But away we go, ready for the second race here. It is going to be O'Reilly to start on pole position. We get the helicopter cam. As you know, we'll go on board with them there. Good old glitch says Raiden, he's obviously staying in the pits. So it's O'Reilly who will start from pole position with Will Friedman this time in second. Darren Yo in third place with Skunky this time in P4 ahead of Ramsel in P5. Snai in P6 with McGowan in P7. Goudet will start P8 for the number 8 with Duffin in 9. The number 181. That is Gary Carble starting in 10th place with the 135 of Matthew Wright. 979. That is Flop with the 566 of Varga in 13th. 14th is the 85 of Taylor with the 59 of Millington starting in 15th place position. The 186, the leading bronze driver Cherrymore in 16th place position. Then we've got the 69 of Aberdeen, 17th at the minute for this session with Cranes in the 229 started in 18th place position. The 64 is Bell in 19th place position. Then we've got Horath in 20th for the 987. Archer 411 in 21st position. Johnson the 663 in 22nd position. Betson in the 75 and 23rd. Carlos the 442 MSA driver starting in 24th position, tipping in 25th. The 67 Raiden will start to the back of the pack, so that will allow Starrock up into 26th to 22, and then Marston up into 28th for the 420, and that is your running order for this one. Get your votes in on who you think is going to win this one. We'll also get drive of the day a little bit later on, but if Friedman does get the start that he wanted, it could be a titanic fight between O'Reilly and Friedman.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the way it comes down to it. Everybody's making their way for it at the moment, aren't they? So it depends who holds on to it. Turn one, you never know. Looking at you, Valtteri Bottas. But either way, it is down to the racing and how it will fare up with every single one of the drivers and how much they can decide. I'm going to go attack or I'm going to go defensive. But right now, as we do continue here, we come towards the end of this formation lap, so you can see all the drivers there in the background coming through the final few corners. It is Hungaroring, it is Monaco without the walls, it is the Whodarron Cup, it's race number 2 here in this round, and it now comes down to it. Barcelona's done, race 1 is done, we now go to race 2 at the Hungaroring. As the formation lap comes to an end, all drivers will now go double file. It's O'Reilly P1, Friedman P2, rounding out the top 10 will be Clarbel. As they come round this final corner, all eyes will now go to the lights here at the Hungaroring for race number 2. Green flag drops and we are racing. That's going to be a very good start for O'Reilly, even better for Will Friedman. Already going to be side by side down in turn number 1. Yo in the background as well, trying to hop into a line there. Rob Ramsell looking on the inside. Already go around the outside is Will Friedman. Also going to have go O'Reilly on the inside. He cuts him off, he holds onto the line. Yo now trying to make his way through. Rob Ramsell's also there. Wheel to wheel with Skunky as they head down towards turn number 2. Everybody's going to hold on to these positions. Wheel to wheel, side by side. Beautiful camera shots as eyes a car round in the back. It looks like a Sodor car, but it's not a Sodor car. Somebody was round. It was the
Marsden.
420. So yeah, 420 of Marsden. They are round and they are down. So that is what's happened there. It is going to be O'Reilly who leads, followed by Friedman, followed by Yo as they head through the rest of these parts of the circuit. Wheel to wheel is Ken. Matt Wright just in front, Sodor racing behind, but now going down into the chicane, Dan, it looks like O'Reilly has got this in control.
He has indeed. Meanwhile, Matt Wright having to cut the chicane now, goes straight on and ended up dropping back behind Flop there. And we see also Kane's going around the outside of Varga, and Varga gaining the position out of that one. A little bit of chaos behind the back of the pack involving Taylor and Marsden, I think it was in the end. But O'Reilly, with the jump, he got the start he needed, and now can he pull away from Friedman? That is the question, as Friedman now obviously going to study his lines and understand where he is gaining on him as we head towards the final section here. And Ramsell with a much better start, he's 6 onto the back of Skunky, so your top 5 haven't really changed, but Snai also sticking with them at the minute, with John Goudet staying ahead. of Duffin at the minute, and he got everyone else dropping behind. Clavel, Flop, Wright, Varga, Keynes, and everyone else as well. It's a relatively clean start once again here at Hungaroring, and O'Reilly though pulling away out in front.
Yeah, most definitely. You hold on to it and you go out in front. You try to make your moves as quickly as possible. Everybody's trying to hold on to these positions. Is it going to be like race 1 where we see a bit of a follow fest on lap number 1 and the first 10 minutes, or is it going to be different and you get fights all the way through? Down the inside, it's going to go Sturrock, P number 23 for P number 22. Trying to make his move on Carlos out turn number 1. Down towards turn number 2, they're going to fight against each other. Everybody's trying to fight as they now head down into the braking zone. Also going to go down the inside, and that looks like they're going to hold on to it. Also going to have Raiden, who's now trying to fight his way back. Marsden also there with him. Down through turn number 2, through turn number 3. Looks nice and clean. They're holding on to those lines and onto their positions. Will Friedman now on the back of O'Reilly.
Yeah, he's not letting him get away too easy, and sometimes Will Friedman tends to capitalise on chasing the car. He's a very good chaser, and O'Reilly's made a slight mistake going through the chicane, running a little bit wide, and that's going to give an opportunity for Will Friedman to find a kink in the armour and trying to find a way through, but he himself has taken a little bit of track limits going through that middle sector as they're all pushing quite hard at the start of this race, and obviously they can do as well, as Ramsel's got a little bit laggy there, and his internet, obviously he's in a shared home I believe, so his lag is kind of all over the shop. Meanwhile, McGowan is on the attack of Snai, looking to go into the tight right-hander, and Duffin's going to send it on Goudet up the inside. Goudet, luckily though, sees him last minute, will hold the inside now for the penultimate corner, but Duffin sending it on Goudet, but can't get the job done, and is trying to get them grip the momentum to try and sling past the greasy bandit driver, but can't find it at the minute.
Trying to hold on down the main straight. The leaders now fight. Will Friedman trying to close in that line as much as possible. Up against them, looking for the outside line as they head down into turn number 1. Who is going to come out on top in this one? The battle for the lead. Will Friedman won race 1. O'Reilly wants to make it 1-for-1. And now down out turn number 1. It's nothing there. Not enough space. Down into turn number 2, Dan. These drivers are going at it. And now going through the left-hander, trying to hold on to it. O'Reilly is putting that car in an absolutely perfect position.
For me, at the minute, in the league that we have in the minute, these two are probably, to me, outstanding best wheel-to-wheel drivers in the pro category, and Will Friedman and O'Reilly going wheel to wheel here, and like I said, their judgment, their awareness of space is brilliant, and they're going wheel to wheel here at the Hungaroring. Yo at the minute just can't go with them, even though they're scrapping, he cannot go with them.
Yeah, he's scrapped, but you've got to hold on to it. Who is going to hold on to these? He's got these battles also happening. McGowan on the back of Snipe trying to close in. Duffin still trying to chase in on Goudet. Flop in that fight as well. Also going to have Quantum in there, but who is holding on to each other? That is the true question as they now head down towards the chicane one more time. Everybody's getting through nice and clean. We've got a few stragglers, but other than that, it looks nice and clean, and they're holding on to it right now. Ramsel's still trying to close in. Skunky is just ahead. Who is going to hold on to this as they now head into the final sector? A little bit of following right now, but other than that, they are holding these lines. Raiden is at the back, but he's still going, so props to him. He's still going to get points because there's only 28 drivers on the grid.
Yeah, PN will always finish a race if he can, and he will do. We'll see him across the line. He's not the quickest with the rest of the guys, but he will definitely finish races for sure. And yeah, good to see Raiden back on track as well, though. We do miss him out on circuit, and it's nice to see him. Meanwhile, Will Friedman once again attacking the back of O'Reilly. And look, this is what I mean, Lexi. These two are battling out in front and pushing each other really hard. Fastest lap has gone now to Snai. That's how much they're slowing each other down. But Yo has got Skunky for company and Ramsel, and he just can't get near the leaders. That's how fast and how aggressive these two are pulling away.
Like, it's that gap which just opens up, but either way, you also see it. No, how much you fight is what comes into it. And more you fight, more you're going to lose time. You got the battle between O'Reilly and Friedman. You got battle between Yo, Skunky and Ramsel. You got battle between Snite and McGowan. So many fights happening up and down the field as they now head onto it. A little bit of contact between Archer and Carlos. Argy-bargy right on the exit. 5-6-6.
Varga, drive through.
Varga at
his home circuit.
At the home race is gonna get a drive through. You can hear the Hungarian fans through a race control, and that is not what the Hungarian fans wanted tonight.
It is not indeed. Meanwhile, Yo is under some immense pressure from Skunky at the minute. These two going at it, and Skunky had an opportunity a couple seasons ago to win the Pro Championship, but he is now trying to hustle the back of Darren Yo. He's got Ramsel breathing down his neck as well. Ramsel having a fantastic drive here. If it wasn't for race one, he would definitely be looking good in this race too. A little bit laggy once again in the stream there, but hopefully his lag will be a little bit supportive. As Duff in there, and Goudet going wheel to wheel down the inside goes Duff, and he gives Goudet a bit of a shove, and Goudet there losing out to Matthew Duff in there. Flop meanwhile attacking Klarball as well, so as those two are busy fighting, Flop goes up the inside.
Wait and see as it does come down to it, as they now head down the main straight, as it is going to be up against them. Matt Wright, also Klarball. It's everybody's fight across the field. We got so many it's hard to keep up with, and I just want to point this out, Dan, because we got if you check comms chat, you can see this in comms chat. If you check it, we know he's slow, but we got to give him props. Raiden, even I'll say it in his own words, because it's props to him. I want to get this out of the way before we head into the final 10 minutes and it gets busy. This is from Raiden himself. I struggle with my hand, medical reasons, and I know I'm slow. I haven't really touched the game since 0 to 24 hours. Sorry, Raiden, but like, he struggles with his hands and he's still racing. Massive props to him.
He runs the pad as well, I believe, so he's on the pad. Oh, Goudet meanwhile looking up the inside of Duffin once again. So even though Duffin was giving Goudet the hurry up, he hasn't really pulled away from him. He's actually got more pressure from him since passing him. So Goudet looking to try and make a way through. O'Reilly meanwhile starting to gap at 6/10, so it's really nothing. So O'Reilly's going to be sweating for most of this. Ramsel meanwhile is back onto Skunky, and once again you have that fight between Duffin and Goudet. And here comes John Goudet. Is he going to try and send it into the left-hander? He goes a little bit too far, misses the brakes, goes deep, and losing out there. Here comes Flop though. Is he going to look to the inside of the left-hander? No, he is not. And Goudet, just a misjudgment on the brakes, ended up missing the corner and ended up going straight on. Meanwhile, Carlos with a little bit of damage to his front end. He's now past Hovath, and is now up into 18th place position. Benny Varga still not opting to take his drive through, and he's going wheel to wheel with Matt Wright right now.
Most definitely. I mean, it's the way that it holds on to it. So now these battles are going to be up against each other. Matt Wright holding on to P number 12, but it may come down to it. Varga wants to get as many positions as possible before this drive through has to be served. Out of turn number 1 on the exit, halfway into this race, he gets the move done on Matt Wright. Lovely jubbly, and that is sound as a pound into turn number 2. He's now got Klarball and Flop ahead in his sights. Too close for missiles, switch to horsepower.
Once again, back to the front, O'Reilly and Friedman. 1/10 separating these two. They're literally going at it wheel to wheel at the minute, and a brilliant job from the pair of them. O'Reilly probably thriving for this, as will Will Friedman. I know they're proper racers and they'll be enjoying this fight at the minute. Yo, just off the back of him, Skunky keeping Ramsel at bay with Snye in 6th, McGowan in 7th, Duffin in 8th, had to straight line the chicane there, and Goudet in 9th. 10th is then Flop, rounding out your top 10 with Klarball just behind him. Varga still to do the drive through, and then we got Matt Wright, Keynes, Aberdeen, you got Millington, Cherrymore, Carlos, Hovdath, Archer, Johnson, Tipping, Taylor, Betterson, Bell, Storrock, Marsden, and then Raiden bringing up the back of the pack. But the top two though, Lexi, these two have been at it from literally the word go.
Ever since the green flag dropped, they've been at it. We're now into the final half of this second race, holding on to him, and now they have a fight against each other. Flop is
Friedman's in the toe. Sorry, Friedman is in the toe. He's got a great opportunity here. Can he get the job done? That's the question. O'Reilly defends the hairpin. Friedman taking the race in line, but Friedman can't get the undercut. Oh, has he? He's got a good run, but he's right onto the back of O'Reilly. They're going to go wheel to wheel, going down towards turn number 2. It is O'Reilly versus Friedman. Friedman to the outside. He's going to try and force O'Reilly to go a little bit deep, but he can't get the job done. So he hangs on a little bit longer. Once again, does O'Reilly, putting up a brilliant defence here against the very successful Will Friedman, as he's looking left, looking right, and looking for any opportunity to find a way through.
Looking for any opportunity, but that can come at a cost. Here at the Hungaroring, you've got to use the track to all of its width. GT3 can be a lot harder, but these GT4s, there's just enough room to squeeze by down into the chicane at the back part of this circuit. And honestly, well, we might as well call that the SimPlay chicane nowadays. You know what? Let's do that. As right now, heading through the rest of these corners, trying to have all these fights is every single driver. Varga now comes out of the pit lane. Archer also now out of the pits. So something happened to Archer that we did not realise there. But now O'Reilly still defending from Friedman.
John Goudet also getting onto the back of Duffin once again, back on terms of him. Can he find the way through at the minute? But Friedman driving brilliantly this evening, and it's nice to see him in that Ginetta finally kind of working well with it now, and is looking to give O'Reilly a hard time towards the end of this race. We've still got 7 minutes left to go of this race. I feel like we've been racing for an hour.
Yeah, well, the race lengths can play tricks on the mind as they now head down the main straight once again, trying to hold on to it, and now up into the main straight. What turn number 1 is coming up, and it's now infamous in real life for Valtteri Bottas, but it looks like we're going to get nice and clean here. Don't forget, this is technically the old lane, even though the layout's the same. Don't forget, this is technically the old Hungaroring, as it has been upgraded this year. So it now comes down to these drivers who holds on to these positions with every single mile that they've got. And now through this right-hander, it is going to be O'Reilly, who still leads from Friedman. Duffin is still holding off John Goudet. Flop now trying to fight his way back through, but he's fallen off the back of them. He's got Clarball, Wright, Cairns and Aberdeen all sat in the third.
Yeah, Flop got a few cars just behind him at this moment in time. But again, the closest fight on circuit at the minute is your leaders. Actually, Matt Wright is relatively close to the back of Gary Clarball, but obviously that's extended since we hit the deltas. But Friedman really has been giving O'Reilly a bit of a hard time, and it's not really, this is the problem with the Hungaroring. It's a great circuit, brilliant for driving on. Like when you nail it, it is absolutely awesome to nail. Good evening, Ian Best in the chat, aka Bestie. But to try and overtake it is really difficult.
Yeah, most definitely. Speaking of overtaking, Bestie, I'm still annoyed at you for Monza. As they head down through the right-hander, they now come through these corners, trying to hold onto it. And of course, it is going to be the Pro-Ams brought to you tomorrow night, right here on SimPlay Motorsport YouTube channel, here at the Hungaroring. That'll be brought to you by Dan Davis. And then the Pros will be brought to you on Thursday nights. Sweet and Sticky, Kelly Davis, Matthew Duffin, as Matt Wright is going to be holding off Cairns right now. And Matthew Duffin, where's he at? He's in P number 8, Dan.
He is indeed still trying to hold off Goudet. We're just on board with Cairns at the minute, and looking very good. Bestie laughing in the chat at you there, Lexi. But John Goudet still there or thereabouts. He can't quite get close enough. He's in the tow, and hopefully, obviously, Matt's carrying a little bit of weight on board as well. I believe he's carrying, I think it's about 30 kilos on board that he's carrying. So he is going to struggle in the hairpins and the slow corners, but Goudet just making a couple of silly errors, I think, and not able to capitalise where Duffin's losing out. And once again, O'Reilly and Friedman get close, but not quite close enough. What other close fights towards the back of the pack? We got Varga, who's on a recovery drive here. He's already onto the back of Stark. He's dropped Marsden pretty quickly, but he's onto the back of Stark. Can he get him into turn number 1? He's in the tow, he's in the slipstream home circuit, and the crowd will go mental if he gets this job done. He's there, and he gets close, but Stark goes wide. Varga goes through, and the crowd goes wild for their home driver.
Definitely, you can hear the roars coming from the pit lane, but it may become booze. Here comes Storek, gonna look to get back past. Very deep down the inside, gets on the brakes just enough, and he holds on to it. That is lovely jubbly. The crowd boos, and now down the inside, inches, millimeters. How close are these two getting?
Very close indeed. Speaking of getting close, Duffin has lost time. He's lost momentum, and here is Goudet once again. O'Reilly was close with Friedman, and Friedman's gone wide. So Friedman's made a mistake. He's going to have to try and claw that back, as here comes, once again, comes Goudet down the inside of the right-hander. That should be job done. Contact made. And Duffin and Goudet once again pushing and shoving one another. And Duffin holds off John Goudet for the moment.
Varga and Sturrock bowing through these sections of corners. Now they're going to be careful because Marsden's right behind them. This is a fight which is for the ages. Probably one of the best we've seen here at SimPlay. But now down the main straight, they're holding on to it. Flop is there. He's got Clarbel, who is in a fight with Matt Wright. Ken's still in
Goudet sending it.
So Quantum.
Oh, sorry, Goudet looked like he was going to send it into the hairpin, but not quite close enough. He did not quite have enough of an overlap. So Duffin here is on borrowed time, I think, until Goudet eventually come through. But once again, we see Friedman right on the back bumper of O'Reilly, and O'Reilly has a slight moment through turn 4. But turned out to be an advantage there. It looked like, for me, he was having a big slide, but he manages to keep it under control. And Goudet once again onto the back of Duffin. He's looking for a way through, but at this moment in time, cannot find it.
Yeah, cannot find it, cannot hold on. Friedman cuts the chicane. Oh, we're going under the final lap here, Dan. It's now or never for Friedman, so is desperation gonna kick in? We don't know. Oh my God, what has happened to Bell's car?
Bell's?
Yeah, Bell's car. That front end is bad and bruised.
Just on board with him now, just at the rear end of his car. Yeah, it's a little bit beaten, possible contact somewhere, but we've still got that fight between Flop and Clarbel. Very good fight indeed, as John Goudet looks once again to try and have the run on Duffin down to that right-hander. Seems to be where he's at his strongest, but Duffin holds him off, and I think Goudet needs to just catch him napping somewhere. As we're about to start the final lap here, O'Reilly exits the final corner. Final chance for Will Friedman. He's running out of time. Well, John Goudet looks to the inside of the final corner, not able to get the job done there. Falls back into position, but gives him a great opportunity to have a great run down the main straight. And Duffin comes across, and that's going to stop John Goudet's attack. And obviously John with a flash of lights, not too happy about that. And Duffin down to the inside, holds off John Goudet. Meanwhile, it's still O'Reilly versus Friedman out front with a comfortable gap ahead of Yo, who's just been solid tonight, has Darren Yo. Just been consistent, picking up the points when he needed to, and not got himself in too much bother or trouble. Varga now clearing Betterson, and Marsden pulling away. And then we're now relatively close to one another. Carlos now onto the back of Millington. This is a close fight as well. But towards the end of this fight, we've got O'Reilly versus Will Friedman. How many track limits are there? And they're surely right on the limit.
Right. Yeah, sorry, Matt Wright getting overtaken there by Ken. So that move finally done. Clarbel goes very, very wide. Very wide into turn number, going into the right hand there of turn number 5. Matt Wright is going to come back at Ken. It looks like the move was going to get done there for Ken to get past Clarbel. But Matt Wright said, not today. I want my position back, and I am coming for it. John Goudet also on the back of Matthew Duffin, but all eyes are gonna go to the fight up top. It's Kyle O'Reilly, Will Friedman. Will Friedman got the win in race number 1. It looked like he was gonna get it again from pole, but Kyle O'Reilly in the dying embers of qualifying said not today. He's held off in these dying embers, and he now just has to take the line. Checkered flag flies. O'Reilly goes 1 for 1. It's Friedman race 1, O'Reilly race 2. O'Reilly wins here. Yo P3, Skunky P4, Ramsel P5, Friedman P number 2. And John Goudet, it looks like he's going to come up short up against Matthew Duffin here. Ram the right-hander, and Matthew Duffin will come out P number 8. Goudet P number 9. Flop P number 10.
P number 10 for Flop, good position there for the Lexus Industry. Clarbel 11, Cranes 12, 13th Wright, Aberdeen 14th, Carlos 15th, getting Millington right at the end in 16th, Cherrymore 17th, and then we got Johnson in that 18th place position. Hovdath coming across the line now in that 19th place position, ahead of Tipping in 20th. Taylor, damaged front end, is going to finish in 21st ahead of the homeboy Benny Varga in 22nd. Marsden in 23rd in the end. And oh my god, Storak had a moment. 24 for him ahead of Betterson. Then it's going to be Bell with that crumpled front end of his car. A bad run for the Roadrunners Motors there as they really struggle towards the end. Then it's Raiden in that P27. And Archer slowing right down, possibly out of fuel maybe at the back of the pack. O'Reilly taking fastest lap of the race. And what a race from those two. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant between them, and you can only imagine what race number 3, I should say, is going to be like between the two drivers. They are holding on to this absolutely amazing. Is it going to be a third race winner? As Archer is definitely out of fuel. He is all the way at the back part of the circuit, RTGs. But that is a very interesting second race. Matthew Duff in there with John Gooday as well. They were fighting for quite a bit. Ramsell kind of just in no man's land the entire time.
Yeah, he was there or thereabouts, but wasn't able to go much further than where he was. But nonetheless, it was a good result for Ramsell. We're going to go to a quick break, but we'll be back in a few moments' time, ready for qualifying 3 and race 3. Are we going to have some great action? Is it going to be O'Reilly or is it going to be Friedman? 1 for 1 from those two for pole and race win. Or can someone else spoil the party? Can a Skunky or a Yo get in between them? Who knows? But all we know is it'll be back in a few moments' time.
green light. Go, go, go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid that it's just me left in your comms box now, as Lexi was feeling a little bit unwell and has had to tap out, but it is just me now in the chat. So let's get things underway, ready for the final race. And what a race that we just had. O'Reilly and Friedman really showing their class of driving in that one. Obviously some great little scraps further down the pack as well. And let's see what that does to the championship. Obviously it does O'Reilly absolute wonders. We still have to wait for the drop scores to take effect after this one. But it is O'Reilly still leading away, this time ahead of Duffin with no Tordock here this evening. McGowan up into 4th with Snai in 5th. Skunky now in 6th with Wright in 7th. Friedman works his way all the way back up to 8th. With Silf now in 9th, Yo 10th, Carlos in 11th, Ramsell 12th with Leach 13th, Goudet 14th with Keynes in 15th, Gary Klarball 16th, Varga 17th, Langley in 18th with Hofner in that 19th place position, Bolton in 20th, Millington in 21st, Aberdeen 22nd, Bell 23rd, Tipping in 24th, Johnson 25th, Taylor 26th with Nebo in 27th, Archer 28th with Smith in 29th, Cherrymore in 30th with Marsden 31st, Flop 32nd, Storrock 33rd with Stardog 34th, Fernie 35th with Old Simbraids 36th, Cummings 37th, Williams 38th, Betterson 39th, Hovnath in 40th with Raiden in 41st. And still best Rook, Wheel and Goodwill yet to set a point. Regarding the teams, it looks like this Dapper Racing leading away, but their gap has been cut by Greasy Bandits in 2nd. They've got SimPlay Racing dropping that to 3rd with Team RRM in P4, MSA in P5, and Team GBR in 6th, Quantum in 7th. With 8th, the Ball Busters Racing with 9th, CT Motorsport, Full Send Jodlords in 10th with G and D Racing in 11th, Team Piston Pounders in 12th with Road Runners Motorsport in 13th, Team Autosport in 14th with Soldor 15th, OWR Racing in 16th, while in 17th is the 2Cs Racing's, 18th is Blunt Force Racing with 19th CGT Motorsport. Lexi's Industry now in 20th position. We're ahead of Team FBR in 21st, Team Som in 22nd, and OGR still yet to get off the marks. And like I said, what an awesome first race second race we just had. We're now into the second qualifying session. I thought we'd go on a board with a couple of different drivers this time, instead of sticking with the SimPlay Racing boys, who seem to always get out of the pits first. So we're on board currently with Darren Yo, who's having a very, very solid night as far, scoring some decent points and not too far off the pace of the leaders, just not been able to go with them. Obviously Friedman and O'Reilly just seem to be in a different kettle of fish at this moment in time to the rest of the pack. And Darren Yo now comes into the final sector of the lap. See, just up the road there is O'Reilly. To the penultimate corner comes now Darren Yo, who's going to set the pace here. We're looking at a 52. He's looking for 52 for pole position, and Ramsell sets the pace to a 53.8. So it's Snide now going to 53.3. Here comes that of O'Reilly and Yo. Yo only goes P3 with that one, and most of the time it's just guys getting a lap time on the board. Keynes in the end P4 for that one. Here comes Flop as well. P4 for him. A good points position for them. Betty Varga, home circuit, goes P5 on that time around. O'Reilly currently on a lap. As we've got Aberdeen coming through the final sector. I believe he has got either Millington or right. It is Millington coming into the final corner. A couple more lap times going on the board. Goudet once again, decent lap, goes P5. Matt Wright P3 with that one as well. And Millington goes 9th, Aberdeen 10th for that one. And your two boys that have been your quickest so far, Friedman and O'Reilly, still yet to put a lap time on the board. Here comes Friedman at the final corner. See another drive across the line, no lap time for Gary Klarball there. And Will Friedman, once again, a 52.9 goes fastest. And like I said, that was the lap time to look out for. Here comes Skunky by the looks of things out the final corner. And he goes P3 with that one, 7/10 off the pace at the minute. With Dan Taylor not able to put a lap time on the board. Cherry Moore, I think, still to put a lap time on the board, as has McGowan. Once again, they come around for another set of laps here. As now we are on the board with Rob Ramsell. And into the final corner. Out of the final corner he goes. Currently P4, 9/10 off the pace. What is this going to get him? He gets 4/10 off the back. Duffin only P4 with that one, and he is done. And out of the way of the session there. Snide goes ahead, and Duffin can't find any more than that. And Darren Yogue improves. So Ramsell put a decent lap time on the board. Keynes, in the end, only P7 for that one. And lap time's coming in thick and fast. Matt Wright now into the final corner to set a decent lap time himself. Varga goes now up to 9th. And here comes Matt Wright. O'Reilly only 9th at the minute. Matt Wright, no improvement at the minute. John Goudet to the line. He goes 10th with that one, so more time yet to be found. And now Bell also still to get a lap time aboard, as is Taylor and Cherrymore. Here comes Cherrymore into the final sector. Got a few other cars in the final sector. I believe one of them is Will Friedman. There he is. Currently your pole sitter at the moment. Ramsell only 4/10 off the back at the minute. And Cherrymore also exiting the final corner. What's Cherrymore going to produce here? Here's Cherrymore on the board. Yes, 16th in the end. Will Friedman, does he improve? He does not, but he's got one more lap in him. And it's Skunky now coming to the final corner. Where is Skunky? There he is. P number 6. Is it an improvement? No, it is not. He will stay where he is. And he's not enjoying the Hungaroring at the minute. 64th. That is Bell. And no lap time on the board for him. And we go back to your front runners. Robert Ramsell still on a lap, as Will O'Reilly, I believe. Yes, he is. Ramsell has a little slide by those things. He is done. Will Friedman is done. We now look to O'Reilly. What can he do? I believe Darren Yo is done as well. So Ramsell with a very good qualifying session at the minute on the front row. Here comes O'Reilly out at the final corner. Is this an improvement? Right to the limit of the circuit. Is it pole position? Yes, it is. O'Reilly once again nabs pole right at the end. And who is still on a lap? It is McGowan. Can he ruin some people's day? As he now comes into the final corner, goes a little bit wide, carries the speed though, tries to get a good exit right on the limit though. I think it might be out of limits. He crosses the line, no. And he goes P3 with that one. Upsets Ramsell and drops another car further down. What has John Goudet got? Only P9 for that one. So, yeah. And who else is in there at the minute? Stephen Millington coming around the final corner now. What has he got? Only 11th on that one. I believe we got... that was Archer crossing the line for P18. I think that is that. 186. That is Cherrymore. Any improvement? Slight time improvement, but no position gain. Zach... Solkler has joined the race. Okay, so can someone please tell me how you set your name like these guys on console? Oh, so basically the way that works is that is done by the actual server owner. So ourselves, when you go onto the sim grid, whatever you put your name on the sim grid is what we will then copy into the server itself. It'll give us your first name, your last name, and obviously the team that you drive for as well. And look at that, I've ended up on the wrong screen. Fabulous. Hopefully if I leave I should be able to get back into the server. So that's how that works. The server owners basically set and luckily we do have the servers working. So yeah, obviously that's why when we set this up we make sure that everyone fills in the relative information, so that when we go racing the correct server information is put in, and that includes name, team name, everything like that. And like I said, if you do like what you see here at SimPlay Racing, then head over to the Sim Grid, get yourself signed up and following our channel on there. That will then take you into the Discord, where obviously our 5 admin members will be able to help you out. Make sure you do your hot stint. Has to be in a GT3 car around Barcelona, and you have to put in a race pace for there, which will be generated by the SimBot. And it's usually around about 5 to 6 laps, and they have to be valid. Once they are valid and they are done, we will generate the SimBot and we will be able to find your pace for that one. Reminder as well, if you like to have a look at our fantastic sponsor, Design Manchester and Audiosport, they're in the description below. And follow all their information, their Facebook page and their website as well. I've ended up as a driver, so that's brilliant. So that's a big mistake by me. I put in the wrong password. So give me a few moments here. Obviously different passwords for different views. We are now into the final race tonight. I think it would be a bit unfair if I jumped in the Lamborghini and then raced these guys, wouldn't it? A massive speed difference there. I think you end up seeing the... yes, I'm not on the circuit, thank God. So, a quick run through of the driver's order. As my keyboard won't work now until I've done that. So let's go on board of each driver. FinFan, I believe that is Langley. Looking forward to being back in the GT4s next week. Next week is actually one of my favourites on the calendar. It is Misano. It's next round of the season. We head to Italy one more time, and the Misano is next on the calendar. I think they're going to be awesome, the GT4s around there. View grid order for the third and final race tonight. It is O'Reilly on pole, ahead of Friedman, ahead of McGowan. Then it's Ramsell, P4, Yo, P5. P6 will be Snye, and P6 is Yo. Oh, they've really confused me now. Duffin in P7, 8th is Skunky, 9th will be Goudet, Keynes in 10th, Millington in 11th, Benny Varga 12th, Matt Wright 13th, Flop in 14th, Aberdeen in 15th, Cherrymore in 16th, with Hobath in 17th, Archer 18th, Bell 19th, Carlos in 20th, with Tipping in 21st, Gary Clarble 22nd, Taylor 23rd, Storrock 24th, Marston 25th, and back to the pits. Betterson 26th, Johnson 27th, and Raiden back of the pack. And I forgot to do it earlier. I'm going to try and do it as quickly as I possibly can, but guys, you can get your votes in on who you think is going to win this one. I'll try and do it as quickly as I can. So it's O'Reilly and Friedman going at it once again. Both a win apiece. Who is going to win this one? Can McGowan or Ramsell get in the middle of this one? Or was it still going to be down to the two men at the front? As they all come to the final few corners and now. And we'll obviously come to driver of the day, so don't go anywhere. Get your votes in on that one. Hopefully driver interviews as well. As we now get ourselves ready for the third and final race here tonight. And Langley said, hopefully seeing you the comments box tomorrow as well, Dan. We shall see. Don't curse yourself too early, but it is O'Reilly versus Friedman for the third time tonight. Who's going to come out on top as we wait for the green here? And we are green and go, racing here at the Hungaroring. An even start between Friedman and O'Reilly, but once again O'Reilly's going to have the inside for turn number 1 as they head down into the right-hander. Friedman going to try and go around the outside contact there. Ramsell's gone round. That means Duffin's had contact with him as well, but your top 3 have gone, and Ramsell drops down the order as everyone else tries to fight for position. As we've got Skunky now going up the inside of Duffin as well. There's Keynes as well going up the inside, gives Duffin a little bit of a shove and drops down the order as you've got Benny Varga there also, but your leaders have pulled away, and once again it is O'Reilly versus Friedman, and they're going wheel to wheel as they head up to the left-hander, but they're going to have to hold position. Meanwhile, there's a little bit more chaos further back as they're all trying to feed themselves into position. All a couple of pushes and shoves here, relatively clean. Who's that in front? I believe that is possibly Matt Wright with a good. Oh no, that's Matt Wright dropping further back. Millington behind a Goudet, but relatively good, clean start there from majority. Not as good as we've had it previously, but Friedman leading the way ahead of O'Reilly leading the way ahead of Friedman, ahead of McGowan. Then it's Yo, who's dropped back actually. He's now behind. Who's that? Is that Matt Wright, I believe? Yes, it is. No, that's Millington actually. So Millington with a good start. He's ended up the order a little bit. So Snai now up in the P4 with Skunky and Duffin behind them. Then it's Varga and Goudet. Millington just ahead of Yo. So a little bit more door banging. Aberdeen with a brilliant start here, looking to go around the outside of Yo, but won't be able to get the job done there. McGowan's going to learn very quickly. It's going to be very difficult to stick with the two in front, as they have been so fast compared to everyone else, and is pulling away once again. Who is going to get the rights out of these two? It's been awesome watching them, but here they go again. Meanwhile, further back, Aberdeen's got Flott, Carlos and Bell not too far behind. Some of the bigger losers out of that one. Ramsell was the biggest loser out of all that. He's got a lot of work to do to work his way up the order. Matt Wright losing a couple of positions also. But here we go. Duffin now has got Skunky for company in front of him, trying to hunt down Snai. As his teammate Friedman has been absolutely flying out in front. He's now under pressure from Skunky. We see there Carlos looking to go around. I can't even find Carlos on the boards here. Carlos looking to go around the outside of Yo, and Yo looking like he's dropped a couple more positions again. No, he's moved up a couple. On flop there, gets on the curve, unsettles the back end of the car, keeps it together though. And Aberdeen now looking to go around the outside and can't get the job done there. So Archer will have to fall back into position with Bell behind and Archer just with them. Ramsell already on the charge back up the pack. But once again, it's Friedman versus O'Reilly for the lead of this race. And Friedman right on the back bumper of O'Reilly. Brilliant to watch these guys going at it. Wheel to wheel racing for those boys. There, Friedman getting really close to the back of O'Reilly once again, but can't find a way through. Skunky giving Snai a bit of a hard time. Duffin now starting to drop into the clutches of Varga. So Varga now looking for an opportunity to possibly find a way through. Two tenths separating the top two. And there O'Reilly trying to break the toe. Friedman going to try something different. O'Reilly then defends the inside, and Friedman goes to the outside, touches the grass and curb a little bit. Possibly unsettles the car a little bit, but Skunky fast out of the race. And look, there is the undercut from Friedman as O'Reilly goes a little bit wide. They're going to get the momentum, and Friedman tries to squeeze over, trying to get a tighter line for O'Reilly. O'Reilly will defend the inside for then turn two and holds off Friedman once again. So as long as he has the inside for turn two, Friedman can't find a way through. Meanwhile, Skunky pushing Snai around the further end of the circuit and can't find a way through at the minute. Meanwhile, Duffin has now got Varga hunting him down for that 6th place position. Meanwhile, Carlos is right on the back of Millington. And he looks up the inside there and couldn't quite get the job done, as Millington just goes a little bit wide, takes a little bit of track limits. Meanwhile, Ramsell, how's he getting on? He's cleared a couple of cars. He's back up to 20th position. His next target is Keynes, who's also dropped down the order, so he's on a drive forward as well. I think he was looking to make a move there on Cherrymore momentarily, but not quite close enough. Bell looking up the inside of Aberdeen, but can't get his nose quite alongside. Millington just holding off Carlos at this stage, but your top two pulling away from McGowan ever so slightly here. Snai ahead of Skunky, ahead of Duffin, ahead of Varga, ahead of Goudet as well. So some good little fights going on here. Once again, Bell looking on the back of Aberdeen, can't find a way through, and Ramsell now gets onto the back of Keynes. Can he find a way through at the minute? He's looking for an opportunity. It's not quite available to him there. So wait a little bit longer. Matt Wright, meanwhile, losing out at the first couple of laps here. Drops down the order. And again, Will Friedman on the back of O'Reilly. Can't do anything to him at the minute. Flasher lights. He's obviously making it clear his intent. He's really pushing the limits here. Skunky trying to chase Nye down. Duffin's being hunted down by Varga. And Goudet just off the back of these guys at the minute. His teammate Yo just behind him. Hamilton's still holding off Carlos at this stage. We see there Bell defending from Aberdeen down the inside of turn 2. Is he just going to miss his brace? No, Aberdeen goes wide. That's a possible opportunity for Matt Wright to come through, but doesn't do so. Good run there from Wright, but not able to do anything as Bell. I think, yeah, Bell just holding up them ever so slightly. Meanwhile, O'Reilly, Friedman driving brilliantly out in front, been awesome all night long, and they continue on. Who is going to come out on top of this one? One pole each, except for O'Reilly taking the final pole tonight. Can Friedman even it out with a race win? At the minute, he sat behind O'Reilly for pretty much most of the first race, and he can't find a way through at the minute. Meanwhile, Snye has a moment, and Skunky now putting pressure on him. Also, Varga getting close to Duffin. He's going board with McGowan because that stupid sign in the way. Once again, Skunky looking for an option. It's very, very difficult to find a way through here at Hungaroring. And Ramsel now is onto the back of Aberdeen by the looks of things. Yes, he is. Aberdeen's got a little bit of damage to the front end of his car. Ramsel's done Keynes, and he's now up the inside of Aberdeen. So job done for Ramsel. Where is Bell? He's dropped down the order as well. Has he got damage? So as Aberdeen and Bell possibly come together. Yeah, damage to the front end of his car. Matt Wright was with that group. He's got no damage to his car, so possibly no contact here. But Ramsel back up to 14th. A good recovery drive from him at this stage. Meanwhile, Friedman this time takes fastest lap of the race. Friedman trying to find the grip, trying to find the confidence to try and attack O'Reilly, and he just needs that little bit more of a momentum to attack him. Meanwhile, McGowan starting to be caught by Snye ever so slightly. He's got Skunky breathing down his neck, and Skunky trying to give him a bit of a hard time. Duffin once again got the company of Varga behind him. Carlos still trying to give Yo a hard time. Oh, Yo's had a little bit of a moment by those things there. Well, it looked strange from the camera view. Everyone else, meanwhile, all Keynes onto the back of Aberdeen. Can't find a way through at this moment in time. We've also got Archer now on the back of Marsden. So work their way through the chicane. The leaders, meanwhile, once again, 2 tenths separating them. And O'Reilly goes a little bit wide. Friedman's right there, right on the back bumper of O'Reilly. And once again, O'Reilly trying to hold off the challenge of Friedman. Meanwhile, Snye is putting pressure on McGowan. He was under pressure from Skunky. Varga's attacking Duffin. But meanwhile, back to the front, O'Reilly out in front. We're on board with his rear wing. Friedman has to try and outsmart him here. He needs to have the inside for turn 2, ideally, to try and set him up in 1. O'Reilly will try and get the car stopped. Friedman needs to get a good exit, and he's not able to do so, so he stays in the slipstream once again. But is he looking? Oh, he had a sniff of opportunity there. He had a moment, he had a thought, but thought better of it and pulled out of it last minute. Meanwhile, Varga and Duffin going wheel to wheel. Duffin defends the inside of turn 2. Varga looks for an opportunity. In comes Goudet. We're at the halfway stage already. 50-50 going to, sorry, 50% if you reckon O'Reilly, but it's a split between Friedman and Ramsel. Well, I've got a sneeze at the worst time. Excuse me. Once again, your leaders going at it wheel to wheel. Snye, meanwhile, in the middle of a greasy bandit sandwich. Again, all these guys under the same brand as such, still all a greasy bandits driver, just driving for separate teams. But the RRM team have looked very mighty, especially Friedman. and Snai going with them. So good points from these guys at the minute. Meanwhile, Duffin really holding off Varga and Goudet now. While the fights are on, Carlos is still on the back of Minute and can't find a way through at this stage. Everyone else relatively spread out, I would say. As you see, Master are trying to attack the back of Bell over the chicane and can't quite get the run that he needed. Oh, and Friedman's off! Friedman is off! And he's going to lose out big time there. He drops down behind Carlos, maybe Flop. That is down to 12th position. So Friedman, I don't know if it was an attempt to go up the inside of the penultimate corner, but has come out worse and has dropped down the order, and that will settle it, I think. Friedman losing out to O'Reilly, who's got a 2.7 gap lead now, and Benny Varga now ahead of Matthew Duffin. Is Duffin going to try and come back at Varga? He's going to look to the inside of turn number 2. Duffin looks to go up the inside but can't quite get the job done. Wonder if there was contact. Me too. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't say so. They'd be wheel to wheel with one another. Maybe a mistake from Friedman. I do not know. But we're looking at this fight between Varga and Duffin. Duffin now dropping behind Varga. And just behind them is John Goudet as well, as Varga goes a little bit wide. Duffin looks up the inside momentarily. Had to be kind of a weird spin for these guys. I totally agree, Langley, possibly so. As there, Varga goes a little bit too deep into the chicane, takes a little bit too much curb, as Friedman now onto the back of Flop and is now on a recovery drive. Ramsel has worked his way up to the back of Matt Wright, but hasn't really got any further than that. So now McGowan holding off that in second place for Snai in third and Skunky in fourth. Varga ahead of Duffin and Goudet. Round 2 for Duffin and Goudet now. And what can John do? Can he manage to outfox him this time round? Slow hairpins we go. Varga holding off Duffin at the minute. Meanwhile, Skunky's getting a little bit closer to Snai. Looks like he's dropped a little bit of pace there. You can see the weight of Duffin affecting him, not able to go with Varga. You've got the damage of Goudet, and then you've got Yo slowly sneaking onto the back of him here. And Carlos obviously finally clearing Millington. Now Friedman has cleared Flop. And with them is Matt Wright as well, and Ramsel going with them also. So it's still relatively close to everyone here. 6 minutes left to go of this race. And Bell and Marston still going at it. Archer just behind. Friedman still fastest lap of the race. And O'Reilly with no one really threatening him now. He can focus on his laps and corners and make sure he hits every apex. Meanwhile, Varga pulling away from Duffin. Try not to get any track limits there, Varga. Keep it under control. Currently P5 leading the silver class at the minute. Leading the bronze class is Tipping at the minute. And quite a bit ahead of Cherrymore as well. Reminder as well to the guys who are watching, if they are a white number, they are a gold driver. And if they are silver, if they are grey, they are a silver driver. And if they are red, they are a bronze driver. So here Duffin once again getting onto the back of Varga. And now Yo is about to join the party. Well, Matt Wright is onto the back of Flop, that's pulled away by the looks of things. And Friedman now looking to attack Millington. Down the inside goes Friedman. And Millington thought better not fight that one off. He's actually coming back at him. Going to go down the inside of penultimate corner. Friedman just about gives him the racing room. Millington up on the curb. Usually in a GT3 car, that car would be going around, but good wheel-to-wheel action there from Millington and Friedman. Flop now looks up the inside. Opportunistic move there, and he gets on the curb himself. Gets a little bit loose, but he is side by side with Millington still. And here comes Matt Wright as well. Ramsel just onto the back of him also, so good close racing. Meanwhile, Yo has been let through by Goudet, and now Yo looks to seek to attack Duffin and Varga. Plenty of time there as Flop down the inside of Millington, still side by side, and Millington will get the better run and momentum and hold off the inside. Here comes Ramsell though to look up the inside of Matt Wright. Matt Wright misses his brakes, hits Flop, hits his teammate, and Ramsell for good measure, and Matt Wright, a big mistake there. Luckily Ramsell obviously damaged the front end of his car. Flop loses out as well. Where is Millington? He pulls away from all of that. Ramsell's about to make a position on Flop. Here comes Keynes though. They go 3 wide up to turn 4. This is going to end in disaster as Keynes goes way off, as does Flop, as does Ramsell. None of them actually making the corner, and in the middle of that comes Taylor as well. He's on the back of him. Clarwell's not too far behind either, and in the end, Ramsell's still fighting him off, and Keynes holding him off at the minute. Yeah, that one's on Matt Wright, I'm afraid. Silly error from him. Keynes there also just going a little bit deep. Ramsell trying to go around the outside. That's a brave move to pull off. Taylor now trying to go with Keynes there around the outside, but won't get the job done. Meanwhile, Duffin once again under some pressure from Yo and Goudet. So Yo, I think, looking like he lost out there. Through went Carlos. And Duffin trying to hold off the team GBR boys at the minute. Friedman just slowly creeping onto the back of him. Meanwhile, O'Reilly comfortably out in front. McGowan in second, Snye in third, and Skunky in fourth. That's a settled top 4 at the minute. Benny Varga up into P5. A great drive from here. Here comes Goudet and Duffin. John Goudet look to the inside as Matt tries to turn in and defend the line and just squeezes Goudet to the inside. And there, John Goudet losing out to Duffin. Now Carlos is on the scene with Yo. Friedman slowly creeping onto the back of him. Oh, and Ramsell's round. Keynes and Ramsell. Ramsell facing the wrong way. He's got it spinning the right way around this time, and he had a terrible race 1. Race 2 went brilliantly, and race 3 is going the same way as race 1. And Ramsell dropping down the order once again after looking like he had such great pace as well. Skunky still giving Snye a bit of a headache, but he's not able to get any closer than he has done. So I think that's going to hold off to the very end. But it's still Duffin, Goudet, Carlos and Yo. Carlos looking very racy. He's looking to the inside of Goudet. Not quite going to get the job done there. Kind of really a half-hearted attack there. And it's all it's done is slowed the pair of them down and allowed Duffin just to pull away. But not by much either. Yo still on the back of him and giving him a bit of a hard time. And Carlos now looking to go up the inside of Goudet into the right-hander, not able to get close enough. Meanwhile, Snye has brought the gap down to McGowan as O'Reilly will now exit the final corner and start his final lap here. But McGowan now coming across the line. Can he hold off Snye and Skunky for the remaining positions here? And Varga kind of on his own. Duffin has a big moment out of the final corner. Goudet may possibly see an opening here as Carlos drops back a little bit, and Friedman's now joined the party. And John Goudet now coming towards turn number 1, looks to the inside momentarily. And Goudet tries to get a better exit there. Duffin just holding him off at the moment in time. Go back to Snye, who's just lost a little bit of momentum to McGowan. Here comes Skunky. Gonna try and help his teammate as best he possibly can, doing it for the Greasy Bandits racing team. Trying anywhere he possibly can. Meanwhile, Duffin still holding off Team GBR. And the MSA driver Carlos right behind them as well. And look at these 3 going out. Like I said, they're all still part of the same brand. They're still part of Greasy Bandits, obviously under different names, and having a great little scrap at the minute between these 3. Duffin still defending from John Goudet. John goes off wide. Duffin has a moment, and through goes Carlos. Or does he? No, he doesn't. In comes Friedman as well. A bit of a push to shove. Carlos going around the outside, and Duffin still holds him off. Meanwhile, we have to look to the front. We have to look. Oh, Snye's about to lose the position to Skunky. No, he doesn't. But we look to the man who's been on top. He's made it 2 from 1. O'Reilly is going to continue his winning streak. He comes into the final corner. Dapper Racing may be a single driver, but he's been brilliant all night long. Kieran O'Reilly comes home to take the win here in race 3. Brilliant job from him. McGowan's going to hold off for P2. Snide drops to P4, so it's going to be Skunky for P3. A 2 and 3 for Greasing Bandit. Snide P4. Varga going to have a solid P5 to end his night. And then it's going to be Matthew Duffin ahead. He's dropped back, actually. So it's Darren Yo who goes up a position into P6. Then it's Carlos. Then it's Friedman. Then it's Goudet. Duffin in the end is going to come home for P10. Then it's going to be Millington. A good drive from him in P11. Flop in P12. Taylor P13. Keynes in 14th. Clarball's going to finish behind Aberdeen in the end for 15th. So thinking right into 17th. Hovnath in 18th, with Ramsell 19th, Tipping 20th, leading the bronze class. Johnson 21st, Cherrymore 22nd, Storick 23rd, Marsden 24th, Archer 25th, Bell 26th, with Raiden in 27th, and Betterson rounding them off in the end. Leading goal driver was O'Reilly. He wins tonight. Varga was your winning silver, and your bronze goes the way of Tipping, and your fastest lap went the way of Will Friedman as well. If any of the drivers that finished on the podium this evening wants to come and join us in the commentary box for a quick chat on the Discord, they are more than welcome to, and I will get driver of the day poll going for you guys to vote. And already I have 2 drivers in mind. I'm not sure who Lexi would have gone for, but I'm sure it's definitely one of the top 2. I'm going to save the replay quickly as well. But what a great night's worth of racing there. Good to watch, especially between Will Friedman and O'Reilly. Been absolutely brilliant. John Goudet versus Duffin as well. At the end there, Skunky versus Snye. I'm trying to think of other drivers that had a good night. Stephen Millington's had a decent night as well, scoring some good points for himself. And I think Flop as well, he's had a solid point scoring night. We'll go Varga. Another solid drive from him. Guys, get your votes in once I get the poll out. Benny can't even spell his name now. Varga. So get the poll out for him. See if anyone join me in the comms box. And we do have a driver in the comms box. And we have your race 2 and 3 winner, Kieran O'Reilly. Kieran, obviously, we've got a few drivers missing here this evening. The GT4s, I've been ashamed of not being able to talk to many of you guys. For some reason, after the racing, you all seem to just disappear, and I can understand why. Hot, sweaty, intense racing, but that was awesome racing between yourself and Will. Proper wheel-to-wheel action.
Yeah, it's fair play to Will. Start off. Not quite sure what happened to him in that last race. I think he maybe had a bit of a dive and spun himself round. So unlucky, but some top pace from Freeman there. And overall, just a good night, to be fair. The weight is an absolute killer in the Ginetta. It's just got no go in it. It just wants to slide everywhere, munch on the TC. So, to come away with results like that, obviously a few of the quick lads haven't shown up, but, we take it. You got to, haven't you?
Exactly that. When no one's here, you've got to take those opportunities and score those points. That gives you a 150 3-point lead ahead of your next rival, which is Matthew Duffin in the end. Obviously, hopefully Tordok and Silver make a return next week as well. But does the weight make that much of a difference? Obviously, we talked about using it as a leveler, but obviously with yourself carrying it for most of the season, does it really make that much of a difference? Do the guys with the less weight really give you a hard time?
Yeah, so the main thing with the weight, which I've figured, is straight line speed. There's nothing in it, so you're always lacking on the straights, and in the corners it feels like a boat. I'm not even exaggerating. It's like a boat trying to turn it round the corners. So you have to have a little bit of a mess about with your setups and figure it out. But you can probably see it on streams, you know, like you're not getting away from people. They're constantly on your back.
Yeah.
Like I say, Freeman there with no weight at all. It was a mismatch really. So I had to defend for my life. And luckily it paid off in the end. So yeah.
I mean, like I said, it was awesome to watch, and we could see that on the stream. You're struggling with straight line speed, you're struggling with traction, and Will really didn't give you any time to really breathe in that one. You seem to be on a run of form in a minute, not just obviously in the Genettas, but obviously in the Pro as well. Has just everything just suddenly clicked for you, or is it just a run of form at the minute?
I mean, it's probably just seat time. When I first started, or when I first joined SimPlay, obviously I had quite a lot of wheel issues, so I was having like 2 weeks
Yeah, I
on.
remember.
I'd have a month away, and it does make a big difference. Everything feels foreign when you come back. So
Yeah.
having the seat time now, figuring out, you know, the cars that you're driving, obviously like with the Honda, starting to figure that out now and stay a bit consistent with it. So yeah, I suppose it is all coming together, you know, but it's nothing more than just seat time, you know, and it'd be the same for everyone. You know, we all struggle to find that time to really practice and put the hours in, but if you can do it, it definitely pays off.
Well, definitely, indeed. You're giving me a bit of a headache in the Lamborghini trying to chase your time.
Yeah.
But obviously, a quick chat about Pro coming up this week. Obviously, Hungaroring, you're looking very good in the Honda. And then a quick word going into the next race, which is Misano. The last time we raced Milano was the fun event where we did Ford versus Ferrari, and you're in the Mustang then. A quick run through of how you feel about that, and yeah, what your plans for the rest of the week for the pros.
Yeah, so coming to the pros first, I do like the Honda round there. I've had to have a mess about with the setup a bit and try and figure it out, but it's very quick if you can keep it in a straight line. So yeah, we just have to hope that that's the case. But moving on to Mazzano, it's actually not. I don't really like Mazzano, I can't lie. It's a bit like Valencia for me. It's just I just can't gel with it. But I haven't done any testing in either of these cars round there, so we'll just have to see what happens. But like I say, if it carries on the way it is with all the racing we're getting, you know, it's just a pleasure to be able to race clean, you know, get through these races with close battles, and like I say, you can't ask for much more really.
Well, obviously, driver of the day is currently out. Majority have gone to Varga, but I will make you commentator driver of the day. It was tight between yourself and Friedman, but until Friedman made that slight mistake, you took that win in the end. But mate, fantastic job tonight, and you can now go and have a good cold drink of water after that, because I'm pretty sure Friedman made you sweat in that one.
Yeah, all right, thank you, mate.
Take it easy, and that is it for the GT4s. No other drivers joining us in the commentary box either, so that is that. And regarding the championship standings, it's looking like this. It is O'Reilly leading the way, with Duffin now in that second place position, ahead of McGowan, ahead of Tordock, and then Snai in P5, Skunky in P6, with Friedman in P7. P8 is Matt Wright with Yo P9, Silt in P10, Carlos in 11th, Ramsel 12th, Agude in 13th, Leach in 14th, Varga 15th, with Keynes in 16th. 17th is Krabel with 18th going away at Millington, Langley 19th, 20th is Hoffner, Bolton in 21st, Aberdeen 22nd, Bell 23rd, Tipping 24th, Taylor 25th with Johnson 26th, Archer 27th, Flop 28th, Kneebone 29th, 30th is Cherry Moore, 31st is Marsden, 32nd is Smith, Sturrock 33rd, Stardog 34th, Fernie 35th, 36th is Old Sim Racer, Hovnath in 37th, Cummings 38th, Williams 39th, Betterson 40th, P. Raiden in 41st, and Best Rook and Wheel yet to get off the marks. And although it's O'Reilly on his own, Dapper Racing still lead the way with 87 points ahead of Greasy Bandits Racing, 87 points separating those guys now, with SimPlay Racing in P3. Team RRM is in P4, MSA P5, with Team GBR 6th, with Conta Motorsport 7th, 8th is Ballbusters Racing, 9th is CET Motorsport, Fulsen Jodlords is in 10th, G and D Racing in 11th, Team Piston Pounders in 12th, with Roadrunners Motorsport in 13th, Team Auto Sport in 14th, Soldor Racing 15th, 2Cs Racing 16th, OWR Racing in 17th, Blunt Force in 18th, and CGT Motorsport 19th. 20th is Lexi's Industries Racing, Team F in 21st. Team Tom, 22nd, and OGR rounding out the championship standings. That is it for the GT4s tonight. Ginetta Whodarron Cup will be live tomorrow night, where I'll be bringing you all the action once again for the Pro-Ams around the Hungaroring. Who's going to come out top? Is Langley going to go back to the top, or is the block finally going to give him some headaches now he has joined the championship and try and take the fight to him? Who else would be in there? Kneebone, Richie, and many others as well. So make sure you tune in for that one. And then on on Thursday will be the pros as well. But for the Ginettas and for the Whodarron Cup, it is a good night, and we shall see you all at Valencia, Misano, sorry. And from me and everyone else here and Lexi, it's a good night.